You see, we had a whole deal yesterday where we were trying to figure out how to put up the link in chat. It took like 4 days to get one link in chat. By the way, everyone, hello, everyone. Dystopia, I assume you said you wanted to see the keyboard that I got. Hello, everyone. Good day. I immediately want to start today's stream with a careful warning that it's raining cats and dogs over here in our not so sunny side of California. So if the stream just like suddenly ends, it's okay. I think. I hope so. Yeah. Hey everyone. Hey Yazan. Also, Dystopia. Is there another name you would rather me call you by? This is one of those things I like to check. Although Dystopia of Utopia is a pretty cool username, I will say that. Okay, Autumn. Oh, I like that. That's a good name. That's a good name. Can I bring up the... Oh my god. Okay. Can I find it? Wait a minute. Like 4 gays tried to send me the name of the thingy. I can probably get it on the stream today. Let me see. The name of the keyboard. There you go. I found it. Okay. Let me just get it on the Cloud9 Ergo TKL keyboard. I should be able to get the... There you go. We did it. Everyone, we did it. Let me just go over to writing. No, Julian, I don't want to chat with you. Get out of here, bot. Anyway, this is the keyboard that I ended up getting. It's mechanical. It's really comfy, and it splits. So it's more ergonomic for like the shoulders, and my shoulders are like notoriously bad. Yeah, it also lights up, and I have customized the lighting so that it's the non-binary flag because of course I did. But yeah, this is my keyboard, the Cloud9 Ergo TKL. This Autumn says, I'm writing dystopian and it's a dystopia and it's a utopia ending. I get that. That's funny. Yo, let's go. Yeah, so as Alex points out here, we're going to be reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. I was gonna say the modern Colossus. Not wrong mythological creature. Although, okay, I guess calling Prometheus a creature is a little bit unfair, I guess. Was Prometheus a demigod? Oh, where's Charles? Where's our local Greek mythology, not major, but basically major. You know, when you're writing a book about Greek mythology, you basically, you know... I'm just saying that whenever a writer has to study something for a book, they should just be handed like an honorary degree. You know what I'm saying? So far, you know, I have an honorary degree on jazz. But yeah, how is everyone doing today? that makes sense. But yeah, we're gonna have a nice, cozy, laid-back stream today. I'm gonna be trying my best to read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And if we have time at the end of the stream, we'll probably do some work on our solo RPG setting. We did a little bit of work on that yesterday. We'll do some more work today. Also, I'm pretty sure we have Lady Kitty Lynn is our wrench today. Everybody, please say hi to her and thank her because she's amazing. Also, by the way, Yanto is in fact in the room. My cat Yanto's here. We received a package, and let me just tell you, he is too big to fit inside the box, and yet he has found a way to actually fit in the box. That boy, cats just bend the rules of reality. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. Yasan here with the it's not a spicy take. It's actually like a pretty sensible take. Prometheus is one of the few morally good characters in Greek myths. It's so true. It's so true. I remember being little and getting into Greek mythology and purchasing like a big. I know, and he gets it so bad because of it. Honestly, like the gods are the baddies in Greek mythology. Changed my mind. But I remember getting into Greek mythology when I was little and then picking up a huge book of Greek myths and reading them and realizing all these stories suck. Not saying like, oh, they're bad and they suck, but rather like, wow, everyone gets it. And not in like a fun way. I keep thinking of the story where I think it's Dionysus, who like a mother and a daughter, no, a mother die, a daughter, a little girl dies, and the mother is like, please, Dionysus, could you please bring me my daughter back? And then Dionysus is like, no, but I want to turn you both into flowers. And then Dionysus just pieces out. What? How is that the way to solve the problem, Dionysus? You just turned that lady into a flower. It's just, you know, Greek myths, man. I do understand that, you know, part of the mythology was, you know, allegories to teach lessons, but I have no clue what the lesson was there. Let's see. Have the tweets and everything gone out? Yes, it has. Perfect. So links don't really work on the chat, and that's really more of a YouTube problem. I'm really sorry. Right. See, yeah, yes, and once again, I mean, they stole their power from the Titans, so all they're high and mighty when they're all just frauds. I know. Hey, Remy. Hey, no worries. Hey, I hope you have fun. We're gonna be reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Also, I opened up the book and I didn't realize that her full name is Mary Goldstonecraft Godwin Shelley. What? Why is she named like an Elden Ring boss? Godwin Shelley of the writing craft. Let me take a look at that. I'll take a look at that. We're doing that thing on like Christmas Day where like the kids are sharing each other's like, oh, look at the toy I got. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, Alexander once again coming in with the actual like explanation. Godwin was actually Mary Shelley's maiden name. That makes sense. Yo, Sam George coming in. Lurker coming in. I mean, she kept her husband's calcified heart after he died, so I didn't know that. Honestly, that's metal as hell. Let's go. That does also feel like a Dark Souls artifact, though, you know? Sorry, I'm going full nerd, and I'm like, maybe like some sort of like a miracle implement? I don't know. That's metal as hell. I can't say that out loud, otherwise YouTube's gonna be like, you want to get shadow banned, but yeah, Sam George, allegedly, yo, that's metal as hell. Let's go. Honestly, like, I fear that, like, you know, if Mary Shelley was transported to the future, she would be like too cool to hang out with me. I don't even hang out in graveyards. I used to live near a huge graveyard, but you know, I didn't exactly like hang out or anything. Oh yeah. By the way, I already said it earlier, but I want to say it again that if the stream just like ends randomly, well, it's raining real bad over here. Oh, Rhiannon! Rhiannon says, hi everyone, this is my first time catching a stream, but I've been slowly catching up with the bots. Hell yeah! I've been watching since I was in high school, so it's nice to see you make videos again, Max. Aww, that's so sweet. It's nice to see you again, Rhiannon. I remember you. Yeah. It's so sweet. It's just so nice seeing everyone talking about how long they've been watching me. It makes me feel old, but it's really sweet. Yeah, no, yeah, and I'm happy you're catching the VODs. That's what they're there for. I'm the kind of person, I can't always catch live streams either, so I really, 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 really appreciate VODs. It's the kind of thing where I'm like, why wouldn't you just put the VODs up, Like, I can't catch the stream live every single day. But yeah, and we're gonna have fun. Yeah, the plan for today is to read a little bit of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and after that, if we have a little bit of time, we're gonna work on the RPG that we're gonna be playing on Thursday. Yeah, I made a little logo for our RPG campaign. I will show you. I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter. I'm really proud of it. Yeah, gays in space. And we were joking that basically, like, the RPG is based on Among Us, so I just literally put a little Among Us in there. Shooting off into the sky with the power of gays. Role-playing gays, it's true, it's true. Yeah, so, yeah, the Among Us, yep. Honestly, like, I was joking, and I was joking about using Among Us as inspiration for the campaign, and then people just ran with it, so. So now the story is, like, loosely based on Among Us. I'm gonna need to have my water handy because I'm gonna be doing mostly just reading today. Also, if you would like to read along, I downloaded a copy of Frankenstein from Gutenberg.org. Let me see if I can pop the link down because it is a free library of public domain books. Let me see if I can pop it on the chat. Don't ban me, YouTube. That is where I downloaded my copy of Frankenstein. It also has allegedly 60,000 free ebooks of public domain works. So, if anybody's interested in picking up some classics without having to, pay Penguin, then you can do that. They have ebooks, they have PDFs, they have all the works. Also, just looking over like the table of contents, I didn't realize that this book opens with several letters. That's interesting. Reminds me a little bit of Dracula. I wonder where they are together in the timeline. Actually, Dracula book release date 1987. Now, Frankenstein book release date. It does kind of look. The Gutenberg website looks a little budget. Oh, actually, Frankenstein is from 1818. Yo, are you seriously telling me Frankenstein is almost 100 years older than Dracula? Yo, that's crazy. January 1st, 1918. The US was like 40 years old by then. Holy crap. And yeah, May 26, 1897 for Dracula by Bram Stoker. Wow. Oh, hey, Charles. Hey, it's so nice to see you. By the way, Charles, can I ask you a question? I have a little notebook with anecdotes, and there's one question I've been meaning to ask you since last time. That's a good question. Let me look at the one that I have here. It doesn't say what version it is. It says that this ebook was released in 1993. That's all it tells me. Let me see if I have more details on it. Do I have any more details on what version of this book it is? I don't. It's yeah, I'm gonna assume that it's probably the most popular version. Also, so Charles, here's the question, okay? And again, we'll get started reading relatively soon, but I just have a question to ask, okay? Last time I was talking about the movies we were watching. I brought up The Greatest Showman that I just watched recently, and you had a very, very, let's just call it volatile reaction to that movie. Could you please extrapolate as to how you feel about that movie? I'm not calling you out, I'm not putting you on blast, but I'm mostly, everyone I've brought it up with, I thought I had a pretty, like, warm response to the movie, and everyone that I brought it up with has been telling me that it's bad. Yeah, yeah. If you could please summarize it in 248 characters, please. Oh no, I just noticed that you actually Oh, okay, okay, okay. We might actually have to fight. Okay, all right. The music was like the only thing that I thought was all right. The story definitely was lacking. It definitely felt like there was like 30 minutes of movie missing. Also, Rip, you left your work shoes at your mom's place. Rip. Also, thank you, Sam George, for clarifying that there isn't much of a difference. I was a little bit concerned that you know, I got the wrong version of the book. Oh my God! Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Charles pointing out the disabled circus freak characters have no character arc, and all the characters only serve the protag. It's so true. Ooh, yeah, that's a really good point. The opera singer doesn't even sing opera in that movie. That's true. That's true. I have like a really like spicy bit about like that movie, but this is not the place for that. Hell yeah, that's dope. Yeah, okay, that explains your reaction then. Yeah, literally like every time that I talk about that movie, which has been like 3 times, the person I'm talking to is like, oh, that movie, yeah, it's okay, or like in your case, it's bad, bad, real bad. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I thought the music was okay, but yeah. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. Our friend Kendra, also a mod, made us some lovely gifts for Christmas. And I'm gonna post about them tomorrow on Twitter. Oh my God. I was actually like emotional, very emotional from seeing what the gifts were. But yeah. Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus. Is that a thing people do anymore? Are you allowed to like double dip on titles? Because I feel like if I could do that, I would like grow even more powerful than you could ever imagine. Just 2 titles, right? Yo! Yeah, I feel like, you know, like I'm gonna say this, okay? It's true. No, but I have some really like light novel / anime titles coming down the pipeline. Like I had a novel that I was working on that was literally titled, if I remember correctly, the title was How I Spent a Weekend in Another World and allegedly saved the world. Parentheses, I think, question mark, close parentheses. And like I left that as the working title, but a part of me is like, what if I just like make that the title? But a kitty would probably like slam me down and be like, Max, you can't do that. Unless we made it like we fully dipped into like light novel territory and we had like an anime character on the cover, maybe? Maybe? That's something we could do. Okay. No. DDVR does not count. Alexander says, Western title, hide and seek. Anime title, who'll get caught? The ultimate game of hide and seek begins! ! That is so on the money. As for Yasan, Yasan asks, what's your favorite anime / light novel? The first one is a little bit hard to answer. Kitty and I, we have a love-hate relationship with anime. We used to do an anime review channel, and, you know, when you make yourself watch all the anime, suddenly, you know, the winners and the losers definitely show up. As for light novel, I've read quite a few light novels. I actually, and please hear me out, I actually read a bunch of the Sword Art Online novels, and those, I actually found the novels to be a lot better, like 10,000 times better than the anime. The anime goes so fast and changes the timeline of events and just generally mucks everything up. The anime actually, the light novel actually had foreshadowing. It had themes in it. Also, I'm just gonna say this, literally every gross anime thing that happens in the anime version of Sword Art Online are not in the novel. Literally, like, there's a character who's introduced, and in the anime, she has, like, you know, giant anime girl boobs, and in the book went out of its way to say, she does not have large breasts. She's just a stocky girl with square shoulders. And then in the anime version, they're like, no, but we gotta give her the big boob, though. If she don't have the big boob, how are people gonna buy the book? So anyway, I've read a bunch of Sword Art. We're reading a bunch of manga right now. Oh my god, yes. Also, like, light novels also do, like, the crunching of the title. Yeah, Rion on here. I keep forgetting SAO ever existed, but every time I'm reminded of it, I'm filled with equal parts nostalgia and rage. Same. Honestly, like, I remember reading the second series, Fatal Bullet. Is it? No, it's not Fatal Bullet, is it? What's the... Whatever. The second series where they go to the... Oh, it's Gun Gale. It's called Gun Gale. It's Gun Gale. God damn it. Yes, I did also read Buffery. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. I read the first volume of that. I will just tell you right now, it's basically cotton candy. It's food without any kind of, like, nutritional value, but I mean, like, sometimes you just gotta read something that's nonsensical. As for... Okay, so I was... In the second book series of Sword Art Online, in Gun Gale, Kirito is given a female avatar, and he has, like, a trans moment in there where, like, oh, I actually kind of don't mind people perceiving me as being female, and I was just like, ah! Yeah, so, you know, again, he doesn't go full trans, but he has that moment where he, like, looks at himself, and I was like, oh, I don't mind being perceived as female, and I'm just like, yeah, that's right, gender's made up. Oh my god, it's so true. But okay, you know what? Okay, we have like 9 minutes. I can go on this rant, okay? All right. If anyone here is a fan of the saga of Tanya the Evil, stop listening for like the next 5 minutes, okay? Also, Yasin is completely right. I honestly liked SAO and only really noticed the issues when I realized people don't like it. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you know, when you experience media from other people's point of view, you can see the flaws. You can still like something, you know? You can still like something and see the flaws in them. But it's the kind of thing where when someone points something out, you're like, oh yeah. Yeah, Kirito could totally be non-binary for sure. Like, it's a story about people in an MMO. Like, do you have any idea? You know, I used to play MMOs back in the day, and like everyone... Oh yeah. Okay, see, Yasin here gets it. So the saga of Tanya the Evil, there's a bunch of stuff going on there, but the main issue that I hate, and a bunch of stories do this, so I'm not gonna like fully give Tanya examples, but like, let's just say that a character is reborn as a gender different from the one they were assigned at birth, and that's like their punishment. It's like, you are now gonna live in the body of a woman, and it's just like, shut the hell up. That's stupid. That's dumb. Anyways, that angered me so bad. So like, right, like on one hand, isekai, you know, being transported to a different world can have so much potential. I'm holding my hand out like you can see it. It has so much potential for being like, you know, inclusive and very like queer friendly. And then on the other hand, they're like, but what if we did the opposite of inclusive? Oh my god, we don't talk about that anime. Oh my god, how dare you? How dare you? There's so much trash anime living in the back of my head. By the way, if you can hear that sound, that is the chinchillas playing with their toys. If you don't know, Kitty and I, we have 2 chinchillas, Popola and Devola, and chinchillas require 3 things to exist comfortably, okay? Number 1, they need water. Number 2, they need food and hay, especially they love hay. And number 3, chinchillas require something to destroy. So they have like wooden toys that they just like destroy with their teeth, because honestly, that's a vibe. Do you think like the world would be a better place if we just like, first off, number 1, instituted like playtime, okay? It's like 2 p.m. Everybody has to stop work and partake in playtime. Number 2, everyone has to have like a nap time. And 3, if we had the license to like destroy something, you know? All I'm saying is that, like, you know, if we just, you know, if we honestly were like, hey, you know what? If everyone receives one everyone receives one paper bag, and they're perfectly allowed to tear it up into pieces and then throw it up in the air. Or even better, actually, everyone receives like a document like some legalese document, and then you're allowed to like cut it up, burn it, just like throw it up in the air or something, you know? Oh, I definitely would love someone to just come in halfway through that sentence. No, what are they even talking about? Just having fun. Oh my god, honestly though, I just think naps are neat, okay? You don't even want me to start. You don't even want me to start. Oh, let's go. All right. So I happened to read one of the most acclaimed books on human sleep, Why We Sleep, recently released a couple of years ago. It is considered basically one of the biggest books on the science of sleep. And it turns out, by the way, welcome to my TED Talk, it basically turns out that human beings, for the longest time in history, we napped. We actually napped all the time. It turns out that, our earliest ancestors, 200,000 years ago, they weren't just, working all day. They, got up in the morning, they did some gathering, mostly gathering, and, by the middle of the day, they just, like, laid down, under a tree and napped. Can you believe that? Yeah, it's almost as though maybe, like, our bodies are, like, made to nap. And the current grind culture that we live in keeps telling people to not nap, don't sleep, don't rest, just keep working. Just keep crunching for Mr. Capitalism. So all I'm saying is, naps for everybody. Yeah. Also, is Yanto wanting to leave? No! Yanto is curled up in his box. I thought I heard him, like, scratching. Also, Rhiannon, that's basically the schedule protocol for kids in my preschool, and every day I become more and more jealous. Oh, let me see. Is it Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep? It is the one... It is Matthew Walker's book, by the way. Yeah, let's go. Yesterday, oh my god. I mean, like, I don't know how to read. That's my problem. But yesterday, I thought you said we weren't going to be able to read Annihilation or watch Annihilation. So we're going to be watching that tonight so that I have some ideas for the RPG. Which, by the way, we're going to be doing some brainstorming today. Oh yeah, I absolutely recommend Why We Sleep. That book is very, very good. I'm actually going to take us to the other page so people can see what book it is. It's this book right here, Why We Sleep. It's from 2017. Literally any article that's like talking about the circadian rhythm nowadays, it's referencing this book. Any article or any science referencing, the science of sleep is talking about this book, by the way. Yeah, I read that last year, I think. There's so much good information there on, it's a lot of studies, which if you're a nerd like me, you might enjoy that. Like, I love a book that is just, like, studies, and it's like, people tried this, and this is what they found out. And it really goes to show, one of my favorite statistics from that book is that, like, being on less than 4 hours of sleep is just as bad as being tipsy. So, what that means is that if you're driving your car and you're running on less than, like, 2 or 4 hours of sleep, you might as well be drunk. Which is not the advice I'm giving you, but literally people who were drunk performed better than people who were under very little sleep. And, like, the explanation behind the experiment was, like, so, like, mind-blowing. It's like, well, yeah, it makes sense. Like, when a person under the influence loses control, they just lose it they just momentarily lose it. But when a person on no sleep loses control, they just check out, and then the next thing you know, the car's on the side of the road. Yeah. Yeah. Like Alexander, like, on Friday. Yeah. Turns out, sleep is very important. Can you believe that? It's almost as though our bodies decided to take sleeping as some kind of, like, survival mechanism, It's almost as though we need it in order to survive. But then Mr. Capitalism is like, you gotta crunch it up. We gotta make the number go big. All right, and I think, sorry, I also drew the thumbnail for the... Oh my god, that's funny. Ah, that's hilarious. Sam says, the topic of sleep is surprisingly relevant because Victor either sleeps for 2 months straight or not at all. Yo, that's funny. I like that that's somehow like related. That's actually like, that gives me life. I love that. All right, I think this is a perfectly good time for us to begin. Once again, the book we're reading today is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, also known as The Modern Prometheus. I got it from the Project Gutenberg, which is a place where you can get public domain books without having to, make an account or nothing. You can just go and download those books. You don't have to give money to Mr. Penguin House or any of the other publishing houses. You can just get yourself a public domain book. So yeah, I think I might even just move my desk setup because I don't feel like I want to have all these keyboards over here. I'm gonna need a bunch of water if I'm gonna be reading. Also, oh yeah, okay. So I gotta say this. So for anyone watching this and watching the VOD or whatever, I want to let you know that this is not a professional read. This is not an audiobook. This is gonna be a casual read. I'm gonna be stopping all over. I don't know what the characters' voices sound like, so I'm gonna just kind of give it my best. It's taking place in England, so I'm gonna resist with the greatest power in my body to not do terrible British accents. I'm gonna stop myself from doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do my best. So yeah, there's not an audiobook. Just chill, relax, get a cup of coffee. And let's dive right in. It's 11:31, it's time to go. Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus by Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin Shelley. Letter 1. To Mrs. Saville, England. Saint Petersburg, December 11th, 17 blank. The year... did Mary Shelley literally drop me like 17XX? Is the year 20XX? Are you kidding me? You will rejoice to hear that no disaster has accompanied the commencement of an enterprise which you have regarded with such evil forebodings. Yo, this is like, damn girl, I told ya. Oh my god, Rhiannon August, my favorite quote from Frankenstein is when Victor says, it's Tuesday in it. Yo, now I'm looking forward to that. I arrived here yesterday, and my first task is to assure my dear sister of my welfare and increasing confidence in the success of my undertaking. Yo, is this Victor Frankenstein? Are we already following? Are we following our a little problematic? Well, I guess rummaging through graveyards to make a living corpse is kind of Walton. Okay. I am already far north of London, and as I walk in the streets of Petersburg, I feel a cold northern breeze play upon my cheeks. That's cute. Which braces my nerves and fills me with delight. Do you understand this feeling? This breeze, which has traveled from the regions towards which I am advancing, gives me a foretaste of those icy climes. Inspirited by this wind of promise, my dreams become more fervent and vivid. I try in vain to be persuaded that the pole is the seat of frost and desolation. It ever presents itself to my imagination as the region of beauty and delight. Wow, this is pretty. This is actually really pretty prose there. Let me just highlight a line. There you go. There, Margaret, the sun is forever visible, its broad disk just skirting the horizon and diffusing a perpetual splendor. Man, yo, Victor, you know how to write a letter, my man. Oh, Lishandra's here. Hey, Lish. Real quick, I gotta ask, does reading or listening to a specific kind of prose wind up leaking into your own writing for a bit? Oh, it's so true. It's so true. Thank you, by the way. Kitty, the wrench, the wrench, like that's like your wrestling name, from Parts Unknown, the wrench, and then Kitty walks onto the stage with, the Rocks theme or something. Thank you for letting me know the top is getting cut off. Thank you. Literally, yeah, like the screen ends for you here, but it actually goes off like 4 lines. Thank you for letting me know. And to Lishandra's question, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes especially when I listen to audiobooks, I can feel like the color and the voice of that narrator kind of like get into my ear, into my writing mind. So I found myself sometimes writing in another person's voice, but that stuff, honestly, like, it goes away during revision. Like, no matter how much I, Oh, nice, Sam. Hey. Hey, I hope, we're still gonna have, I'm still gonna do lots of reading of, Frankenstein, but yeah, I'm happy you're having fun. Oh, that's so sweet. And I will try not to have the text cut off. Okay. Desolation, ever visible, splendor. There. For with your leave, my sister, I will put some trust in presiding navigators. Presiding navigators. There snow and frost are banished. Oh, I like that. And sailing over a calm sea, we may be wafted to a land surpassing in wonders and in beauty every region hitherto discovered on the inhabitable globe. Its productions and features may be without example, as the phenomena of the heavenly bodies undoubtedly are in those undiscovered solitudes. Wow, Victor, you're popping off here. You're right. This is how you write to your sister? Damn. Hell yeah, Lish. I get that feeling. What may not be expected in a country of eternal light. I may there discover the wondrous power which attracts the needle, and may regulate 1,000 celestial observations that require only this voyage to render their seeming eccentricities consistent forever. Interesting. I guess maybe back then they didn't make it one word, actually. I shall satiate my ardent curiosity with the sight of a part of the world never before visited, and may tread a land never before imprinted by the foot of man. These are my enticements, and they are sufficient to conquer all fear of danger or death, and to induce me to commence this laborious voyage with the joy a child feels when he embarks on a little boat with his holiday mates on an expedition of discovery up his native river. Wow, this is fancy. Yo, no offense, I wasn't okay, so first off, I wasn't expecting it to just pop off so hard right off the start. Also, even though this book is literally like over 200 years old, still reads really well. Of course, it's probably part of, I'm sure someone between now and then cleaned that up maybe, but man, this reads really well. I was, hitherto surprised me a little bit, but yeah, also, yeah, Charlie in the comments, yeah, Mary Shelley's the goat. Yeah, it's true, she the goat. But supposing all these conjectures to be false, you cannot contest the inestimable benefit which I shall confer on all mankind, to the last generation, by discovering a passage near the pole to these countries, to reach which a present so many months are requisite, or by ascertaining the secret of the magnet which, if at all possible, can only be effected by an undertaking such as mine. Lishandra, I can see why my sibling had a hard time with this in school. This is definitely like, this is, as an adult, I definitely enjoy this prose. It's also interesting. I love, by ascertaining the secret of the magnet is such a early 1800. No, I guess it was 1900s 1900s vibe. How does the magnet work? To this day, we still don't even know. These reflections have dispelled the agitation with which I began my letter, and I feel my heart glow with an enthusiasm which elevates me to heaven, for nothing contributes so much to tranquilize the mind as a steady purpose, a point on which the soul may fix its intellectual eye. Ooh, Mary, this is delightful. I had no, I feel like I'm eating like I got like a whole case of fancy chocolates or for myself. This is so nice. This expedition has been the favorite dream of my early years. I have read with ardor the accounts of the various voyages. Please, I can't pronounce this word. Please forgive me. I'm not American. I don't know English. Which have been made. I mean, I didn't know English for most of my life. Let's be entirely honest. Which have been made in the prospect of arriving at the North Pacific Ocean through the seas which surround the pole. You may remember that a history of all these voyages, made for purposes of discovery, composed the whole of our good Uncle Thomas's library. My education was neglected, yet I was passionately fond. Voyage. Thank you, Lishandra. I was literally thinking of opening a Google tab and being like, please pronounce this word for me, computer. Please show me how dumb I am, computer. Computer, can I get a printout of Oyster smiling? My education was neglected, yet I was passionately fond of reading. These volumes were my duty day and night, and my familiarity with them increased that regret which I had felt as a child on learning that my father's dying injunction had forbidden my uncle to allow me to embark in a seafaring life. I had no clue. You wanted to be a sailor, Victor? Oh my god. Of course. Your dad died. This also, okay, so writing-wise, is actually doing a good job of also, like, letting us know about the backstory of Victor. Yeah. No, I can definitely... Yeah, Sam, when I read it in high school, my classmates were bored and confused. Yeah, I can get that. Again, like, I feel like, you know, you wouldn't share a box of fancy chocolates with a bunch of, you know, teenagers. But this definitely, as a writer, I really enjoy this prose. Also, this chunk right here does so much work. It lets us know that, you know, I assume it's Victor. I'm gonna assume this is Victor, by the way. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. But I'm gonna assume that we learned that Victor's father died in seafaring, and that Victor's uncle prohibited him from, you know, learning or doing that, which inferred Victor's desire to want to do some seafaring and also, you know, explore the North Pole or whatever. Oh my god, I gotta go back to Jane Eyre. I started it like a year ago. I gotta go back to that. I mean, that is also a public domain book, although it is definitely a lot thicker than Frankenstein. These visions faded when I perused for the first time those poets whose effusions entranced my soul and lifted it to heaven. I also became a poet and for 1 year lived in a paradise of my own creation. I imagined that I also might obtain a niche in the temple where the names of Homer and Shakespeare are consecrated. Shit! Mary, this is delightful. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm a little embarrassed. Okay, yeah, I don't know who Robert Walton is, but I'm sure we'll learn some more. You're well acquainted with my failure and how I heavily bore the disappointment. But just at that time I inherited the fortune of my cousin, and my thoughts were turned into the channel of their earlier bent. Ooh, this is nice, you know. As a fiction author, I'm really enjoying the prose here. 6 years have passed since I resolved on my present undertaking. I can even now remember the hour from which I dedicated myself to this great enterprise. I commenced by inuring my body to hardship. I accompanied the whale fishers on several expeditions to the North Sea. Interesting, huh? I'm actually really interested in that. I've recently, you know, it's the kind of stuff where, like, you know, I may have done a little bit of digging into Sherlock Holmes, and I realized, you know, I'll just say this right now. I didn't realize that Moriarty was only in, like, 3 stories, and yet, like, you know, they make him out to be, like, the biggest antagonist in some, let's just say less than stellar adaptations. So it's this kind of thing where I'm like, wow, you know, way to just, like, you know, I guess, like, taking the subject matter, I don't know, it feels strange. Also, I really apologize for the chinchillas if you can hear that. They're having a fun time destroying their little wooden toy. I voluntarily endured cold, famine, thirst, and want of sleep. I often worked harder than the common sailors during the day and devoted my nights to the study of mathematics, the theory of medicine, and those branches of physical science from which a naval adventurer might derive the greatest practical advantage. Oh, thank you, Charles. Oh my god, it's like destroying my ears. So, man, I really set up this mic well, because if you guys can't hear that, holy crap. Twice I actually hired myself as an undermate in a Greenland whaler, and acquitted myself to admiration. I must own I felt a little proud when my captain offered me the second dignity in the vessel and entreated me to remain with the greatest earnestness. So valuable did he consider my services. And now, dear Margaret, Do I not deserve to accomplish some great purpose? My life might have been passed in an ease and luxury, but I preferred glory to every enticement that wealth placed in my lap. Oh, that some encouraging voice would answer in the affirmative. My courage and my resolution is firm, but my hopes fluctuate, and my spirits are often depressed. I am about to proceed on a long and difficult voyage, the emergencies of which will demand all my fortitude. I am required not only to raise the spirits of others, but sometimes to sustain my own when theirs are falling. This is the most favorable period for traveling in Russia. They fly quickly over the snow in their sledges, the motion is pleasant, and, in my opinion, far more agreeable than that of an English stagecoach. The cold is not excessive, if you are wrapped in furs, a dress which I have already adopted, for there is a great difference between walking the deck and remaining seated motionless for hours, when no exercise prevents the blood from actually freezing in your veins. I have no ambition to lose my life on the post road between St. Petersburg and Archangel. I shall depart for the latter town in a fortnight or 3 weeks, and my intention is to hire a ship there, which can easily be done by paying the insurance or the owner. Yeah, right, Sam? Yeah, it's interesting. This opening prose has been like really, really good. Again, like as a writer, I really appreciate it. And my intention is to hire a ship there, which can easily be done by paying the insurance for the owner and to engage as many sailors as I think necessary among those who are accustomed to the whale fishing. I do not intend to sail until the month of June. And when shall I return? Ah, dear sister, how can I answer this question? I feel like he might have put 2 question marks here. That feels like, ah, dear sister, how can I answer this question? If I succeed, many, many months, perhaps years will pass before you and I may meet. If I fail, you will see me again soon, or never. Farewell, my dear, excellent Margaret. Heaven shower down blessings on you, and save me, that I may again and again testify my gratitude for all your love and kindness. Your affectionate brother, R. Walton. Interesting. Let me get some water. Huh. What a lovely start to the book. So, I don't know nothing, and don't tell me nothing. Am I to assume that Walton here is about to have a bad time? Because, you know, let's just say that he's heading north of Russia, in the cold to the North Pole, I assume, to find out what happens up there. And last time I checked, that's where all the Lovecraftian stuff happens. So, you know, just saying. Although again, that's a joke. That's a joke. I know Lovecraft was not until much later. Letter 2 to Mrs. Saville, England. Archangel. Yo, you actually made it? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, you made it. That was December 11. It's March. It's March. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Lish says Walton is having too nice a time. I'm also suspicious. Yo, he made it. Yo, it took like 3 months, but he made it. Oh, I guess 4 months. Archangel, the 20th of March, 17XX. How slowly the time passes here, encompassed as I am by frost and snow. Yet a second step is taken towards my enterprise. I have hired a vessel and am occupied in collecting my sailors. Those whom I have already engaged appear to be men on whom I can depend, and are certainly possessed of dauntless courage. I have... you're getting cut off. I saw that. But I have one want which I have never yet been able to satisfy, and the absence of the object of which I now feel as most severe evil. I have no friend, Margaret. When I am glowing with enthusiasm of success, there will be none to participate my joy. If I am assailed by disappointment, no one will endeavor to sustain me in dejection. I shall commit my thoughts to paper, it is true, but that is a poor medium for the communication of feeling. Hey, listen up, buddy. Hey, listen up. Here we write books here. Writing on paper is a perfectly good way to communicate your feelings. I desire the company of a man. Yeah, keep going. I'm listening. I desire the company of a man who could sympathize with me, whose eyes would reply to mine. You may deem me romantic, my dear sister, but I desire the company of a man. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. You may deem me romantic, my dear sister, but I barely feel the want of a friend. I have no one near me, gentle yet courageous, possessed of a cultivated as well as a capacious mind, whose tastes are like my own, to approve or amend my plans. Okay, man, sorry, it's so relatable though, right? It's so relatable. I feel like you could put this on like, you could put this quote on like an image of the Crab Nebula on Tumblr, and people would be like, oh my god, same, me too. How would such a friend repair the faults of your poor brother? I am too ardent in execution and too impatient of difficulties. Yo, is this me? Is this me? I am too ardent in execution and too impatient of difficulties. I love that. I'm actually bookmarking that in the video. I love that. That's me. But it is still greater evil to me that I am self-educated. For the first 14 years of my life, I ran wild and a common and read nothing but our Uncle Thomas's books of voyages. At that age, I became acquainted with the celebrated poets of our own country, but it was only when it had ceased to be in my power to derive its most important benefits from such a conviction that I perceived the necessity of becoming acquainted with more languages than that of my native country. Now I am 28 and am in reality more illiterate than many schoolboys of 15. I mean, telling from your writing though, I wouldn't say that. It is true that I have thought more and that my daydreams are more extended and magnificent, but they want, as the painters call it, keeping. I greatly need a friend who would have sense enough not to despise me as romantic, and affection enough for me to endeavor to regulate my mind. Well, these are useless complaints. I shall certainly find no friend on the wide ocean, nor even here in Archangel. It is Archangel, yeah. Yeah, oh my god, I know, right? Yeah. Oh my god, I'm dying too. Yeah, Lish says, has the best prose you've ever seen. Oh my god, I'm illiterate. Yeah. Isn't that the writing struggle though, for real though? Among merchants and seamen. Okay, everybody shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. No one's allowed to laugh at that. Yet some feelings, unallied to the dross of human nature. Ah, Lish. Beat even in these rugged bosoms. Bosoms. I thought there were two S's there, but whatever. Maybe it's the English version of the spelling. My lieutenant, for instance, is a man of wonderful courage and enterprise. He is madly desirous of glory, or rather, to word my phrase more characteristically, of advancement in his profession. He is an Englishman, and in the midst of national and professional prejudices, unsoftened by cultivation, retains some of the noblest endowments of humanity. I first became acquainted with him on board a whale vessel. Finding that he was unemployed in this city, I easily engaged him to assist in my enterprise. Now tell me, how pretty was he? The master is a person of an excellent disposition and is remarkable in the ship of his gentleness and the mildness of his discipline. This circumstance, added to his well-known integrity and dauntless courage, made me very desirous to engage him. A youth passed in solitude, my best years spent under your gentle and feminine fosterage, has so refined the groundwork of my character that I cannot overcome an intense distaste to the usual brutality exercised on board a ship. Okay, you're telling me a lot, Walton. I feel like I'm really getting to know you. I have never believed it to be necessary, and when I heard a mariner equally noted of his... Sorry, let me try that again. I have never believed it to be necessary, and when I heard of a mariner equally noted for his kindliness of heart and the respect and obedience paid to him by his crew, I felt myself peculiarly fortunate in being able to secure his services. Okay, so I will say, this sentence is a little bit long. We even have we have a lot of going on in the sentence. I would say probably, if I were giving feedback, I would probably split this into multiple sentences. This is the first time where I've literally had to stop and take a breath between a sentence. That's usually my sign that a sentence is a little bit too long. And it ended right here. I heard of him first. Wait, screw. Yeah. I heard of him first in rather a romantic manner. You did what? I felt myself. I heard of him first in rather a romantic manner, from a lady who owes to him the happiness of her life. This briefly is his story. A line break here, we appreciate it. I know. Some years ago, he loved a young Russian lady of moderate fortune, and having amassed a considerable sum in prize money, the father of the girl consented to the match. He saw his mistress once before the destined ceremony, but she was bathed in tears, and throwing herself at his feet, and entreated him to spare her, confessing at the same time that she loved another. Oh my god. Oh, this is the most 1900s book. But that he was poor, and that her father would never consent to the union. My generous friend reassured the suppliant, and on being informed of the name of her lover, instantly abandoned his pursuit. He had already bought a farm with his money, on which he had designed to pass the remainder of his life, but he bestowed the whole on his rival, together with the remains of his prize money to purchase stock, and then himself solicited the young woman's father to consent to her marriage with her lover. Are you telling me? Yo, you telling me this guy is like, I want to marry this girl, here's the money, and then, no, I love someone else, and then he's like, all right, well, here you go. You know what? Game respects game. Yo, what a cool dude. What a cool dude. But the old man decidedly refused. Excuse me? What do you care? What do you care? Everything's solved. Thinking himself bound in honor to my friend, who, when he found the father inexorable, quitted his country, nor returned until he heard that his former mistress was married according to her inclinations. What a noble fellow, you will exclaim. He is so, but then he is wholly uneducated. He is as silent as a Turk, and kind of ignorant carelessness attends him, which, while it renders his conduct to be more astonishing, detracts from the interest and sympathy which otherwise he would command. Sam says, you will experience a lot of sudden backstory that interrupts the story the character is trying to tell, even while a character is telling a story, interrupting a story. I love that. Honestly, this wasn't that bad. We didn't do like, George R.R. Martin, here's like 10 pages of describing food, which, as long as we don't go there, it was one paragraph, I can survive with that. Yet, do not suppose, because I complain a little, or because I can conceive a consolation for my toils, which I may never know, that I am wavering in my resolutions. Those are as fixed as fate. That my voyage is only now delayed until the weather shall permit my embarkation. Oh, well, I guess that's how you will spell. Yeah, this might be the first time in my life I've stumbled upon the word embarkation, but I guess that makes sense. The winter has been dreadfully severe, but the spring promises well, and it is considered as a remarkably early season, so that perhaps I may sail sooner than I expected. I shall do nothing rashly. You know me sufficiently to confide in my prudence and considerateness whenever the safety of others is committed to my care. Considerateness. I like that. This is so old-timey, but not like old-timey enough that I can't follow. It's interesting. I'm like, I wonder why we don't say the word considerateness anymore. I cannot describe to you my sensations on the near prospect of my undertaking. It is impossible to communicate to you a conception of the trembling sensation, half pleasure and half fearful, with which I am prepared to depart. Hell yeah. I am going to unexplored regions, to the land of mist and snow, but I shall kill no albatross. Therefore, do not be alarmed for my safety if I should come back to you as worn and woeful as the ancient mariner. You will smile at my allusion, but I will disclose a secret. I have often attributed my attachment to, my passionate enthusiasm for, the dangerous mysteries of ocean to that production of the most imaginative of modern poets. There is something at work in my soul which I do not understand. I am practically industrious, painstaking, a workman to execute with perseverance and labor. But besides this, there is a love for the marvelous. I believe in the marvelous, intertwined in all my projects, which hurries me out of the common pathways of men, even to the wild sea and unvisited regions I am about to explore. Okay, this reads so good? And I'm not saying that, like, it's not objectively it reads good. Of course, it's all subjective, you know, to each their own. But I'm gonna tell you right now that getting to the point where I can read my book out loud without stopping is one of the signs that the book is ready to head out to print. So, of course, I get it. This is a print book, but man, I've read other books where I'm like, there's a lot of stop and start, and this feels. Yes, the sentences are long. I'm gonna just come out and say there's quite a few long sentences here, but they flow in a way that, makes sense. But to return to dearer considerations, shall I meet you again after having traversed immense seas and returned by the most southern cape of Africa or America? I dare not expect such success, yet I cannot bear to look on the reverse of the picture. Continue for the present to write me by every opportunity. I may receive your letters on some occasions when I need them most to support my spirits. I love you very tenderly. Remember me with affection. Should you never hear from me again, your affectionate brother, Robert Walton. Interesting. And now, July 7th, this is the third letter. I think there's 5 letters. I'm going to take this as a quick little chance to just get up and stretch my legs, by the way. Generally, when we write on the stream, I have a timer. But because we're reading a book, it's a little bit different. So let me just get up and stretch my legs real quick. Yeah, and also hydrate. Hydrate break. Thank you so much to the lovely wrench kitty for reminding everyone to hydrate. And we'll be moving on to letter number 3 in a moment. Letter 3 to Mrs. Saville, England, July 7th, 17XX. Also, I realized that we don't have a location this time, so is this the time when Mr. Robert Walton is about to have a bad time? My dear sister, I write a few lines in haste to say that I am safe and well advanced on my voyage. This letter will reach England by a merchantman now on its homeward voyage from Archangel, more fortunate than I, who may not see his native land perhaps for many years. I am, however, in good spirits. My men are bold and apparently firm of purpose, nor do the floating sheets of ice that continually pass us, indicating the dangers of the region towards which we are advancing, appear to dismay them. We have already reached a very high latitude, but it is the height of summer, and although not so warm as in England, the southern gales which blow us speedily towards those shores which I so ardently desire to attain, breathe a degree of renovating warmth which I had not expected. No incidents have hitherto befallen us that would make a figure in a letter. What a clever way of phrasing that. 1 or 2 stiff gales and the springing of a leak are accidents which experienced navigators scarcely remember to record, and I shall be well content if nothing worse happens to us during our voyage. Adieu, my dear Margaret. Oh no sudden backstory? No. Oh wow, we're going quick. Also, RW, huh? Interesting. Adieu, my dear Margaret. Be assured that for my own sake, as well as yours, I will not rashly encounter danger. I will be cool, persevering, and prudent. But success shall crown my endeavors. Wherefore not? Thus far I have gone, tracing a secure way over the pathless seas, the very stars themselves being witnesses and testimonies of my triumph. Why not still proceed over the untamed yet obedient element? What can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man? My swelling heart involuntarily pours itself out thus, but I must finish. Heaven bless my beloved sister, R.W. Interesting. Huh. I like getting shocked with the short letter. I think we're gonna get another short one. So definitely, as a way to show the passing of time for sure, effective. I wonder, and again, maybe I'm just being silly. Maybe there was a thing in this time period where people were like, "Yo, you should open your book with some letters," because it's interesting seeing how a lot of Draculas also relate to the reader in this format. I mean, all of Dracula is just letters basically, but I can't help but wonder. Letter 4 to Mrs. Seville, England, August 5th, 17XX. So strange an accident has happened to us that I cannot forbear recording it, although it is very probable that you will see me before these papers can come into your possession. Last Monday, July 31st, which was nearly a month after the last letter, okay. We were nearly surrounded by ice, which closed in the ship on all sides, scarcely leaving her the sea room in which she floated. Honestly, that's actually so. Lish has a really good point in chat. I wonder if that was the only way they could think of to write first person. Yeah, you make a really good point actually. Third person omniscient was kind of like the way back in this time. So I wonder if that was one way to justify it or one way to encourage that. Because definitely, now we know, of course, because we live in the future. But third person, first person, these are all valid points of view to write a novel with. So it's definitely interesting. And again, this writing is fantastic. So, so far, having a lot of fun. Our situation was somewhat dangerous, especially as we were Our situation was somewhat dangerous, especially as we were compassed round by a very thick fog. We accordingly lay to, hoping some change would take place in the atmosphere and weather. About 2 o'clock the mist cleared away, and we beheld, stretched out in every direction, vast and irregular plains of ice, which seemed to have no end. Some of my comrades groaned, and my own mind began to grow watchful with anxious thoughts, when a strange sight suddenly attracted our attention and diverted our solitude from our own situation. I realized, this isn't like a voice recording via Bioshock style. The letter's not gonna end with like a dash, indicating that he got killed halfway through writing. So the fact that he's writing this, I must assume that he is okay. I kept thinking, I'm like, when is the axe gonna fall? And of course, maybe I'm thinking in more modern approaches, of course, where the plot has to happen really quickly. I don't assume we're gonna have like line break, and the rest of the letter is incomprehensible. Maybe, I don't know. Is this where that trope began? I don't know. We perceived a low carriage, fixed on a sledge and drawn by dogs. They had dogs on board? Pass on towards the north at the distance of half a mile. A being... Yeah, it might also be a slower burn. Lishandra's also right. A being which had the shape of a man, but apparently of gigantic stature, sat in the sledge and guided the dogs. We want... Wait. Hold up. I gotta slow down. I gotta slow down. I was not paying as much attention as I should have. The strange sight is that they... Okay. The strange sight is that they perceived a low carriage, fixed on a sledge and drawn by dogs, pass on towards the north at the distance of half a mile. A being which had the shape of a man. I know, yeah, Jason is so right. Santa? Yo, wait. Wait, the creature knows how to ride a sled? The creature is Santa? Okay. The distance of half a mile, a being which had the shape of a man, but apparently of gigantic stature, sat in the sledge and guided the dogs. We watched the rapid progress of the traveler with our telescopes until he was lost among the distant inequities of ice. What? Oh, okay, so I'm gonna tell you, pop culture did not properly prepare me for, what I'm gonna assume is the creature on a sled, in the North Pole. Interesting. This appearance excited our unqualified wonder. We were, as we believed, many hundred miles from any land, but this apparition seemed to denote that it was not in reality so distant as we had supposed. Shut in, however, by ice, it was impossible to follow his track, which we had observed with the greatest attention. Also, yeah, I think Lashandra's right. I think we're in media res, which means that we're in the middle of things. About 2 hours after this occurrence, we heard the ground sea, and before night the ice broke and freed our ship. We, however, lay to until the morning, fearing to encounter in the dark those large loose masses which float about after the breakage up of the ice. The breaking off of the ice. I profited of this time to rest for a few hours. In the morning, however, as soon as it was light, I went upon deck and found all the sailors busy on one side of the vessel. I was so ready for this to be. I went upon the deck and found all the sailors dead on the floor of the vessel, but no, busy on one side of the vessel, apparently talking to someone in the sea. It was in fact a sledge, like that we had seen before, which had drifted towards us in the night on a large fragment of ice. Only one dog remained alive, but there was a human being within it whom the sailors were persuading to enter the vessel. He was not, as the other travelers seemed to be, he was not. Okay, must we really say this? Yeah. Sam, I love how the creature is a better dog owner than his creator. That's hilarious. I love that. He was not, as the other travelers seemed to be, a savage inhabitant of some undiscovered land, but a European. What you gotta do this to me, Walton? What you gotta do this to me? When I appeared on deck, the master said, "Here is our captain, and he will not allow you to perish on the open sea." On perceiving me, the stranger addressed me in English, although with a foreign accent. I'm not gonna do an accent for the creature. Should I do an accent for the creature? "Before I come on board your vessel," said he, "will you have the kindness to inform me whither you are bound?" No. "Transylvania, I am a Dracula. Oh, too late, yes, no, yeah. Maybe like a deeper voice. "Before I come on board your vessel," said he, "will you have the kindness to inform me whither you are bound?" You may conceive my astonishment on hearing such a question addressed to me from a man on the brink of destruction, and to whom I should have supposed that my vessel would have been a resource which he would not have exchanged for the most precious wealth the earth can afford. Okay, this one is a little bit clunky, but I do like it though. It's like, can you believe how shocked I was that this dude didn't want to just jump onto my boat right away? I replied, however, that we were on a voyage of discovery towards the northern pole. Upon hearing this, no worries, Yasan. Have fun. Thank you for coming to the stream. And yeah, the VOD's gonna go up later today, so you'll be able to finish whatever you left off. Upon hearing this, he appeared satisfied and consented to come on board. Good God, Margaret! If you had seen the man who thus capitulated for his safety, your surprise would have been boundless. His limbs were nearly frozen, and his body dreadfully emaciated by fatigue and suffering. I never saw man in so drenched a condition. We attempted to carry him into a cabin, but as soon as we had quitted the fresh air, he fainted. We accordingly brought him back to deck and restored him to animation by rubbing him with brandy and forcing him to swallow a small quantity. As soon as he showed signs of life, I guess they meant rubbing him as I think what they mean by, they mean applying the alcohol near the nose, I guess, to, I feel like that's probably what they mean. I don't think just rubbing alcohol on someone's, arms helps. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe this is an old-timey thing. As soon as he showed signs of life, we wrapped him up in blankets and placed him near the chimney of the kitchen stove. By slow degrees, he recovered and ate a little soup, which restored him wonderfully. 2 days passed in this manner before he was able to speak. Yeah, I was gonna say. Kitty's like, that doesn't sound medically sound. Kitty, who works at the Pokemon Center, a medical institution, is like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to just rub alcohol on people's faces. Also, yeah, also, can we just talk about how strange it is that everyone is just so nice to this guy? Also, it's interesting that, I know because, people are talking in the chat, but this is supposed to be the creature, and so far he hasn't been described as, a patchwork of limbs. It's just a really, really tall dude. Which, again, makes me wonder if pop culture properly prepared me to read this book. 2 days passed in this manner before he was able to speak. Oh, there has been a misunderstanding. Ah, thank you. Yo, Victor Stahl? Victor Stahl? Damn, he's a big dude. Thank you, Sam. By the way, please forgive me. Please forgive me for being an ignorant person who has no idea what actually happens in Frankenstein. But you know what? We're learning together, And we're in here now, so let's keep going. What the hell? What the hell was Victor doing up in the North Pole by himself? 2 days passed in this manner before he was able to speak, and I often fear that his sufferings had deprived him of understanding. Let me go back a little bit. I want to know, okay. I guess he's actually not described as being large. You're absolutely, yeah. But there was a human being. What an interesting thing to point out. There was a human being. Interesting. Okay, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Sam. When he had in some measure recovered, I removed him to my own cabin and attended on him as much as my duty would permit. Yo. Is this where the friendship begins? Because, hey, there's someone you can talk to about all of your sciencey nerdy stuff. I never saw a more interesting creature. His eyes... I see what you're doing there. His eyes have generally an expression of wildness and even madness, but there are moments when, if anyone performs an act of kindness towards him, or does him the most trifling service, his whole countenance is lighted up, as it were, with a beam of benevolence and sweetness that I never saw equaled. Oh, well, that's lovely. Yeah, okay, yeah. Lish has a good point, yeah. The fact that the narration keeps calling him creature isn't helping, but that's also, it's partially on us as well, because, we know more than we're supposed to know if we were picking up this book, without ever knowing anything about Frankenstein. Also, I like that, like, he looks kind of intense, but when you're nice to him, he warms up. I like that. But he is generally melancholy and despairing, and sometimes he gnashes his teeth, as if impatient of the weight of woes that oppress him. When my guest was a little recovered, I had great trouble to keep off the men, who wished to ask him 1,000 questions, but I would not allow him to be tormented by their idle curiosity, in a state of body and mind whose restoration evidently depended upon entire repose. Once, however, the lieutenant asked why he had come so far upon the ice in so strange a vehicle. His countenance instantly assumed an aspect of the deepest gloom, and he replied, "To seek one who fled from me." And the man whom you pursued travel in the same fashion? Yes. Then I guess, I'm not gonna do voices, at least not for now, until I really can get a feeling for their character. Then I fancy we have seen him, for the day before we picked you up, we saw some dogs drawing a sledge with a man in it across the ice. This aroused the stranger's attention, and he asked a multitude of questions concerning the route which the daemon, ooh, look at that, that's fancy, the daemon, ooh, look at this character that's an A and an E together, I love that. The daemon, as he called him, had pursued. Soon after, when he was alone with me... Oh, yeah. Hit him with the AE, let's go. Soon after, when he was alone with me, he said, I have doubtless excited your curiosity as well as that of these good people, but you are too considerate to make inquiries. Certainly, it would indeed be very important... Certainly, It would be indeed very impertinent and inhuman in me to trouble you with any inquisitiveness of mine. And yet you rescued me from a strange and perilous situation. You have benevolently, please forgive me, you have restored me to life. Soon after this, he inquired if I thought that the breaking up of the ice had destroyed the other sledge. I replied that I could not answer with any degree of certainty, for ice had not broken near until midnight, and the traveler might have arrived at a place of safety before that time. But of this, I could not judge. Lysandra, the phrase, when he was alone with me, he said, I have ignited your curiosity, would be at home in a slash fic. Absolutely. Positive statement for sure. Sorry, my chair is sinking slowly. But of this I couldn't, yeah. So we don't know for certain what happened to the other very tall person. From this time, honestly though, like the writing has been on point. Also, are you telling me that Mary Shelley wrote this when she was a teenager? I need to look that up right now. Actually, my keyboard is broken into 2 pieces, so I'm gonna let you and people in chat figure it out for me. Was she actually a teenager when she wrote this? Because that's incredible. Holy crap. The goatist. The goatiest. Yo, you're telling me Mary Shelley invented science fiction when she was just a teenager? Because that's absolutely incredible. 19? She was 19? Holy crap. Holy actual crap. Yeah, and anyone else getting like jealous? Everyone else getting like incredibly envious of this queen? From this time, a new spirit of life animated the decaying frame of the stranger. Oh, what an interesting theme stacking happening here, by the way, huh? The stranger, who we know it to be Victor, has been reanimated. The decaying frame of him has been reanimated back to life. What a fun little line. This is absolutely a second draft line, by the way. Holy crap. Sam says, I think she started writing at 18, published at 19, and went back and revised it later. Holy crap. Also, yes, Charles is correct. Girl boss moments. Holy crap. The ultimate girl boss. He manifested the greatest eagerness to be upon deck to watch for the sledge which had before appeared, but I have persuaded him to remain in the cabin, for he is far too weak to sustain the rawness of the atmosphere. I have promised that someone should watch for him and give him instant notice if any new object should appear in sight. Such is my journal of what relates to this strange occurrence up to the present day. The stranger has gradually improved in health, but is very silent and appears uneasy when anyone except myself enters his cabin. Yet his manners are too conciliating and gentle that the sailors are all interested in him. Well, is he a pretty anime boy? Should I be picturing Victor as a pretty anime boy? Although they have very little communication with him, for my own part, I begin to love him as a brother, and his constant and deep grief fills me with sympathy and compassion. He must have been a noble creature in his better days, being even now in wreck so attractive and amiable. Sorry, this kills me. Sam says, Victor does, for the record, have wet cat energy. Oh, I see that now. Oh, I see that for sure now, yeah. Oh, wet cat energy that's a vibe. That's a vibe for sure. I almost want to like doodle that. Someone remind me to do a doodle of what Victor looks like in my head. I said in one of my letters, my dear Margaret, that I should find no friend on the wide ocean. Yet I have found the man who, before his spirit had been broken by misery, I should have been happy to have possessed as the brother of my heart. Also, you know, do I say it? Okay, the joke is like, man, just normal things that straight men say to one another, huh? I should have been happy to have possessed as the brother of my heart. I shall continue my journal concerning the stranger at intervals, should I have any fresh incidents to record. Oh, so, okay, yeah. So after having a little bit of time to be able to, 6 days after what this happened, he sat down and began writing, and then he's updating the journal as it's going. Okay, that makes sense. So let's go towards August 13, 17XX. My affection for my guest increases every day. So Sam coming in with the MVP call out. My literature teacher actually introduced me to the potential interpretation that the monster is a metaphor for Victor's repressed homosexuality. Honestly though, I'm actually interested. Now that you've pointed that out, I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for that. I'm gonna be like looking for some kind of like theme thread during the story. Because now that you pointed it out, I definitely want to see if that plays out. At least in my interpretation. That being said, my affection for my guest increases every day. He excites at once my admiration and my pity to an astonishing degree. How can I see so noble a creature destroyed by mystery without feeling the most poignant grief? He is so gentle, yet so wise, his mind so cultivated, and when he speaks, although his words are cold with the choicest art, yet they flow with rapidity and unparalleled eloquence. Oh my god. Walton. He's so pretty. Oh my god. This guy's he's so sweet and so pretty. Oh my, so you're saying you wanted to keep him in your cabin, huh? Shit, you gay, bro. Shit, just kiss him already. Give him the kiss. Kiss him in your cabin. Just two bros sitting in the captain's cabin, 5 feet apart because they're not gay. He is now much recovered from his illness and is continually on the deck, apparently watching for the sledge that preceded his own. Yet, although unhappy, he is not utterly preoccupied by his own misery, but that he interests himself deeply in the projects of others. A message has been retracted in chat, and I now I'm confused, but okay. Although unhappy, he is not so utterly occupied by his own misery that he interests himself deeply in the projects of others. I already read this. He was frequently conversed with me on mine. Mayor Shelley, also famed inventor of monster, redacted for TOS. So yeah, I'm excited to figure out what TOS got, what TOS violation is happening there. No, don't worry about it. It's completely cool. I saw a message get retracted and I was like, oh no, what happened? Was there a terrible typo? And in a way, I guess there was. He has frequently conversed with me on mine, which I have communicated to him without disguise. I'm sorry, Igor just joined the chat. Hello, yes, we're good. We're reading Frankenstein right now. And no problem, Lish, thank you for showing up to the stream. And yeah, the VOD's gonna go up if you want to catch up on the shenanigans later. And I've communicated to him without disguise. He entered attentively into all my arguments in favor of my eventual success and into every minute detail of the measures I had taken to secure it. I was easily led by the sympathy which he evinced to use the language of my heart, to give utterance to the burning ardor of my soul, and to say, with all the fervor that warmed me, how gladly I would sacrifice my fortune, my existence, my every hope to the furtherance of my enterprise. One man's life or death were but a small price to pay for the acquirement of the knowledge which I sought, for the dominion I should acquire and transmit over the elemental foes of our race. As I spoke, a dark gloom spread over my listener's countenance. At first I perceived that he tried to suppress his emotion. He placed his hands before his eyes, and my voice quivered and failed me as I beheld tears trickled fast from his between his fingers. A groan burst from his heaviest breast. I paused. At length he spoke in broken accents. Unhappy man, do you share my madness? Have you drunk also of the intoxicating draught? Hear me, let me reveal my tale, and you will dash the cup from your lips. Sam says, you're very, very right. For the record, in modern times, Creature would just find someone willing to climb him like a tree, and nothing would go wrong ever. Also, Lady Kitalin says, me coming in and out of the stream between work. These dudes gay. You're not wrong. Okay, so are you able to tell me that we begin in media res, and the following book is actually going to be the story that Victor is relaying to Walton then? Is that actually what we're about to have happen? I'm actually going to spy a little bit ahead. No, that's not what's happening. Okay. Such words, you may imagine, strongly excited my curiosity. But the paradoxism of grief that had seized the stranger overcame his weakened powers, and many hours of repose and tranquil conversation were necessary to restore his composure. Again, we were speaking of nap time earlier. Everybody gotta have a nap. He just needed a nap. Having conquered the violence of his feelings, he appeared to despise himself for being the slave of passion, and quelling the dark tyranny of despair. Yo, this is me when I take my anxiety medications. I quell the dark tyranny of despair. He led me again to converse concerning myself personally. He asked me the history of my earlier years. The tale was quickly told, but it awakened various trains of reflection. I spoke of my desire of finding a friend, of my thirst for a more intimate sympathy with a fellow mind that then had ever fallen to my lot. It is time to learn the English pronunciation of words. Yeah. Well, I'm not American, so, I'm gonna be butchering some of them. Also, can I just say, sorry, it's just these this exchange is just very, very, it is funny because earlier Walton was like, you may call me do not call me a romantic, and then proceeds to be very romantic in every interaction. I agree with you, replied the stranger. We are unfashioned creatures, but half made up. If one wiser, better, dearer than ourselves, such a friend ought to be. Do not lend his aid to perfectionate our weak and faulty natures. I once had a friend, the most noble of human creatures, and am entitled, therefore, to judge respecting friendship. You have hope, and the world before you, and have no cause for despair, but I have lost everything and cannot begin life anew. As he said this, his countenance became expressive of a calm, settled grief that touched me to the heart, but he was silent and presently retired to his cabin. Even broken in his spirit as he is, no one can feel more deeply than he does the beauties of nature, the starry sky, the sea, and every sight afforded by these wonderful regions seems still to have the power of elevating his soul from earth. Such a man has a double existence. He may suffer and be overwhelmed by disappointments, yet when he has retired into himself, he will be like a celestial spirit that has a halo around him. Within those circles no grief or folly ventures. That's a beautiful paragraph. That's actually a beautiful paragraph. Also, we have established that you cannot hear the background noise, which is good because it's raining buckets. It's raining buckets over here. Will you smile at the enthusiasm I express concerning this divine wanderer? You would not if you saw him. You have been tutored and refined by books and retirement from the world, and you are therefore somewhat fastidious, but this only renders you the more fit to appreciate the extraordinary merits of this wonderful man. Sometimes I have endeavored to discover what quality it is which he possesses that elevates him so immeasurably above any other person I ever knew. I believe it to be an intuitive discernment, a quick but never failing power of judgment, a penetration into the causes of things, unequaled for clearness and precision. Add to this a facility of expression and a voice whose varied annotations are soul-subduing music. Damn! Mary Shelley, you wrote this when you were 19? Holy crap! August 19th, which is literally what, like 4 days after? 6 days after. August 19th, 17XX. Yesterday the stranger said to me, "Have you not asked him for his name?" Well, I guess it's been like half a month. I guess it's too late. I guess it's too embarrassing to ask someone's name by then. The stranger said... Yesterday the stranger said to me... Sam says, "Fellas, is it gay to write several paragraphs describing how wonderful another man is?" This is so good, man. This is so good. This is like the vibe, honestly, you know. Yeah, you know, in this stream, we're queer. We're, you know, there's everyone here, you know, we're all in different spectrums of the gender sphere, and we just sense it, right? You know, this is a vibe, you know? This is not something you say about just a random person. I'm just saying. You can really tell that there's something happening here. Yesterday, the stranger said to me, "You may easily perceive, Captain Walton, that I have suffered great and unparalleled misfortunes. I had determined at one time that the memory of these evils should die with me, but you have won me to alter my determination." The vibes may or may not be intentional. Igor asks, which by the way, isn't Igor the name of the assistant from, or is that just another pop culture thing? Anyway, is it difficult to write books, poems, or novels? I don't think so. It's time consuming, and facing the blank page is, you know, a scary feat, but it is not one that you cannot overcome. In fact, you know, to walk into a library is to see the countless stories of people who faced the blank page and made the writing happen. I can already feel Mary Shelley's like tone seeping into my internal dialogue. Okay, so determination. "You seek for knowledge and wisdom as I once did, and I ardently hope that the gratification of your wishes may not be a serpent that to sting you as mine has been." What a beautiful I'm getting writing envy. This is actually so lovely. Man, there's so many books I wish I'd read when I was younger. If I had read this book when I was younger, I would have probably been a writer sooner, maybe? I don't know. Oh my god, did it? Yo, YouTube, what the hell? Boo. Sam says, "Did YouTube auto-flag the last thing I wrote?" Crying emoji. Mary Shelley did spend some time with women after her husband passed. Yo! Queer icon. That's funny. I'm sorry that YouTube automatically flagged that. "I ardently hope that the gratification of your wishes may not be a serpent to sting you, as mine has been. I hope that your quest to continue to find an answer won't end up just screwing you up in the end." What a lovely, lovely line. "I do not know that the relationship of my disasters will be useful to you, yet when I reflect that you are perusing the same course, exposing yourself to the same dangers which have rendered me what I am, I imagine that you may deduce an apt moral from my tale, one that may direct you if you succeed in your undertaking and console you in case of failure. Prepare to hear of occurrences which are unusually deemed marvelous. Were we among the tamer scenes of nature, I might fear to encounter your unbelief, perhaps your ridicule. But many things will appear possible in these wild and mysterious regions which will provoke the laughter of those unacquainted with the ever varied powers of nature, nor can I doubt but that my tale conveys in its series internal evidence of the truth of the events of which it is composed." Okay, I will say, we're not giving feedback on Mary Shelley because this book is like 200 years old. I will say that if you have a sentence that has that of the of the of the which, you probably should cut it into two sentences, or rephrase it. If you end up in a point where you're basically writing, the Lord of the Rings, the Battle of the Five Armies, you probably need to rephrase that sentence. Igor asks, what are your favorite books? Oh, buddy, I read everything. I do not have the time to go over my favorite book series, but I'll tell you, I consume everything and anything. I'm currently going through a nonfiction kick at this moment, but I've literally, my to-be-read list on Libby is literally all the genres, basically. I feel like I think I have something on my to-read list that someone, gave me. I'm also reading a bunch of manga at the moment, but yeah. Oh, I read everything. I was literally talking earlier about is it nonfiction? Is it a science book? I don't know. Why We Sleep is a book talking about different sleep studies. Oh, that was a really fun book. Now, where was I? Okay, yes. You may easily imagine that I was much gratified by the offered communication, yet I could not endure that he should renew his grief by a recital of his misfortunes. I felt the greatest eagerness to hear the promised narrative, partly from curiosity and partly from curiosity and partly from a strong desire to ameliorate his fate. Okay, if anyone knows how to pronounce this word, let me know, because I'm going to assume that's ameliorate. You know what? Can you define what ameliorate means, please? This might be the first word that I'm like, what does this even mean? Ameliorate. Ameliorate, got it. Make something bad or unsatisfactory better. Okay, that actually kind of makes sense. And partly from a strong desire to ameliorate his fate if it were in my power. I expressed these feelings in my answer. I thank you, he replied, for your sympathy, but it is useless. My fate is nearly fulfilled. I wait but for one event, and then I shall repose in peace. I understand your feeling, continued he, perceiving that I wished to interrupt him. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I'm stealing this. Yeah. In the middle of a dialogue tag, perceiving that I wish to interrupt X person. Ooh, I like that. But you are mistaken, my friend, and thus you will allow me to name you. Nothing can alter my destiny. Listen to my history, and you will perceive how irrevocably it is determined. Oh man. Igor asks, what do you recommend to read? Depends, just books in general, or you mean to get into writing, or to anybody got any book recommendations? Anybody in chat got book recommendations? What you all reading right now? Also, by the way, I was right. We're literally about to go. We go from the letters to literally chapter 1. This is still in first person. I'm actually shook. You're telling me that? Hold up. Yeah. This book is in first person? 200 years ago? Holy crap. That being said, by the way, Igor, if you're asking for books on writing, I definitely recommend On Writing by Stephen King, and Bird by Bird. Those are my two favorite books for people who want to be writers. I should probably finish reading the last letter before I jump to chapter 1. That seems like a good course of action. He then told me that he would commence his narrative the next... Did I finish the reading this? But you're mistaken. Yeah, okay. But he then told me that he would commence his narrative the next day when I should be at leisure. This promise drew from me the warmest thanks. I have resolved every night, when I am not imperatively occupied by my duties, to record as nearly as possible in his own words what he has related during that day. If I should be engaged, it will at least make notes. This manuscript will doubtless afford you the greatest pleasure, but to me, who knows him, and who hear it from his own lips, with what interest and sympathy shall I read it on? Let me try that again. This manuscript will doubtless afford you the greatest pleasure, but to me, who know him, and who hear it from his own lips, With what interest and sympathy shall I read it in some future day? Oh, that's interesting. Dostoevsky? Classics? Didn't Dostoevsky also do Crime and Punishment? I read a bunch of that. Even now, as I commence my task, his full-toned voice swells in my ears, his lustrous eyes dwell in me with all their melancholy sweetness. I see his thin hand raised in animation, while the lineaments of his face are irradiated by the soul within. Strange and harrowing must be his story. Frightful the storm which embraced the gallant vessel on its course and wrecked it thus. Ooh, that's nice. And that's the introduction as we go into chapter 1. Wow. That was actually not what I expected. By the way, I'm actually going to do a quick BRB break. I got to go check something real quick. We will keep doing a little bit of reading, and then we'll do maybe some RPG work. But really quickly, I'm going to be right back. Stay tight. Also, by the way, like, I don't know, get up, stretch your legs, drink some water, take a break. And I will be right back. Honestly, though, Sam says in the comments, imagine your brother goes off to the Arctic and then tells you this entire story about how this dude's life got ruined. Honestly, though, like, maybe that was the vibe back then, Maybe this is the same as, like, you send, like, your group chat, like, a Twitter thread of how someone is just getting completely ratioed. Maybe that's kind of like what this mood is. Also, by the way, yeah, like, Margaret really went to just casually talking with her brother to just getting a massive novel. Yeah, that's really funny. That's also, honestly, I don't know, like, my anxiety just gets, like, activated at the thought of, like, yo, you're in a boat, and you're like, this novel that's taking you, like, weeks/months to write, and you just have it, like, like inches away from just water. I don't know. My anxiety just gets activated. Like, I live in the future now, We have, like, auto-saving documents, and I'm still like, better just save it again. Better just back up all of my writing on the cloud just in case. All right. Let me see how long is this first chapter? I want to see. How long is this chapter? Oh, we can read the first chapter. And then we'll probably switch gears into doing some RPG work. I want to... we're going to be playing a solo RPG with chat. That's you. On Thursday. And I have a couple of things that I need to roll. And I definitely want to get people's feedback. So definitely, we'll do some brainstorming for Gaze in Space. But first, let's read chapter 1 of Frankenstein, the Modern Prometheus. Chapter 1. Oh, Genovese. I'm gonna assume the pronunciation is Genovese. Chapter 1. I am by birth a Genovese, and my family is one of the most distinguished of that republic. My ancestors had been for many years consulars and syndics, and my father had filled several public situations with honor and reputation. He was respected by all who knew him for his integrity and fatigable. Indefatigable. Alright. We're stopping right away. I need to know how this word's pronounced. Indefatigable. Excuse me? You guys can hear that, right? That's a word. Okay. I wonder why we don't say this word anymore. He was respected by all who knew him for his integrity and
Indefatigable.
his tireless attention to public business.
Indefatigable.
Nah, that makes sense. Of course it is. Of course it is. Thank you, Kitty. He passed his younger days perpetually occupied by the affair. Okay, he's talking about his dad. For a second, I spaced out and I'm like, who are we talking about? He's talking about his father. He passed his younger days perpetually occupied by the affairs of his country. A variety of circumstances had prevented his marriage early, nor was it until the decline of life that he became a husband and the father of a family. As the circumstances of his marriage illustrate his character, I cannot refrain from relating to them. One of his most intimate friends was a merchant who, from a flourished state, fell, through numerous mischances, into poverty. This man, whose name was Beaufort, was of a proud and unbending disposition and could not bear to live in poverty and oblivion in the same country where he had formerly been distinguished for his rank and magnificence. Having paid his debts, therefore, in the most honorable manner, he retreated with his daughter to the town of Lucerne, where he lived unknown and in wretchedness. My father loved Beaufort with the truest friendship and was deeply grieved by his retreat in these unfortunate circumstances. He bitterly deplored the false pride which led his friend to a conduct so little worthy of the affection that united them. He lost no time in endeavoring to seek him out, with the hope of persuading him to begin the world again through his credit and assistance. Beaufort had taken effectual... By the way, Sam, you immediately called out, hey, look, it's a story inside a story inside a story. It's okay. Victor is telling Walton about what happened, and inside of the story we're learning about Victor's dad, but inside of Victor's dad's story we're learning about Beaufort. So, everything's going great. Oh, no. Sam says it gets worse than this. No way. It actually makes me want to keep reading more. Yo, should this be a series? And do y'all want to actually watch me finish reading this entire book? Not today. Not today, but eventually? I don't know. We'll see. My father loved Beaufort with the truest friendship and was deeply grieved by his retreat in these unfortunate circumstances. He bitterly deplored the false pride which led his friend to a conduct so little... Okay, yeah, we read this already. He lost no time in endeavoring to seek him out, with the hope of persuading him to begin the world again through his credit and assistance. Beaufort had taken effectual measures to conceal himself, and it was 10 months before my father discovered his abode. Overjoyed at the discovery, he hastened to the house, which was situated in a mean street near the Rus? But when he entered, misery and despair alone welcomed him. Beaufort had saved but a very small sum of money from the wreck of his fortunes, but it was sufficient to provide him with a sustenance for some months, and in the meantime he hoped to procure some respectable employment in a merchant's house. The interval was, consequently, spent in inaction. His grief only became more deep and rankling, when he had leisure for reflection, and at length it took so fast hold of his mind that at the end of 3 months he lay on a bed of sickness, incapable of any exertion. So basically, No, that's a bad joke. Basically, me during the pandemic, right? We have a self-isolation. Everybody feeling that. Yep. Is it too soon to make fun of that? I don't know. I mean, we lived through it. His daughter attended him with the greatest tenderness, but she saw with despair that their little fund was rapidly decreasing and that there was no other prospect of support. But Caroline Beaufort possessed a mind... Are we gonna learn about Caroline now? But Caroline Beaufort possessed the mind of an uncommon mold, and her courage rose to support her in her adversity. She procured plain work, she plaited straw, and by various means contrived to earn a pittance scarcely sufficient to support life. Several months passed in this manner. Her father grew worse, her time was more entirely occupied in attending him, her means of subsistence decreased, and in the 10th month after her father died in her arms, leaving her an orphan and a beggar. This last blow overcame her, and she knelt by Beaufort's coffin weeping bitterly. When my father encountered the chamber, he became like a protecting spirit to the poor girl, who committed herself to his care, and after the interment of his friend, he conducted her to Geneva and placed her under the protection of a relation. 2 years after this event, Caroline became his wife. Oh man, I was not ready for this. Y'all, Victor's dad hitting you with, or I guess Victor's story hitting you with this at the last minute. What? Oh well, moving on. There was a considerable difference between the ages of my parents. You don't say. But this circumstance seemed to unite them only closer in bonds of devoted affection. There was a sense of justice in my father's upright mind which rendered it necessary that he should approve highly to love strongly. Yeah, this is a good point. Sam says in the comments, Mary Shelley got married at 19 and had 2 kids before that. So, fair. There was a sense of justice in my... Yeah. Perhaps during former years he had suffered from the late discovered unworthiness of one beloved, and so was disposed to a greater value on untried worth. There was a show of gratitude and worship in his attachment to my mother, differing wholly from the doting fondness of age, for it was inspired by reverence for her virtues and a desire to be the means of, in some degree, recompensing her for the sorrows she had endured, but which gave an inexpressible grace to his behavior to her. Okay, Mary, this needed to be like 3 sentences. I'm just gonna say that before I move on. Everything was made to yield to her wishes and her convenience. He strove to shelter her, as a fair exotic is sheltered by the gardener, from every rougher wind, and to surround her with all that could tend to excite pleasurable emotion in her soft and benevolent mind. Her health, and even the tranquility of her hitherto constant spirit, had been shaken by what she had gone through. During the 2 years that had elapsed previous to their marriage, my father had gradually relinquished all his public functions, and immediately after their union, they sought the pleasant climate of Italy, and the change of a scene and interest, and the change of scene and interest attendant on a tour. I'm sorry, I feel like there's a word missing here. And the change of a scene, an interest attendant on a tour through that land of wonders as a restorative for her weakened frame. Is that where Victor gets his weak frame? From Italy, they visited Germany and France. I, their eldest child. You have siblings? Their eldest child was born at... Can you imagine Thanksgiving dinner with Victor and the rest of his family? Can you believe that? Can you imagine? Just like, yeah, so what are you doing now, Victor? From Italy, they visited Germany and France. I, their eldest child, was born at Naples, and as an infant accompanied them in their rambles. I remained for several years their only child. Much as they were attached to each other, they seemed to draw inexhaustible stores of affection from a very mine of love to bestow them upon me. Spoiled. The elder child always gets spoiled. My mother's tender caresses and my father's smile of benevolent pleasure while regarding me are my first collections. I was their plaything and their idol, and something better, their child, the innocent and helpless creature bestowed on them by heaven, whom to bring up to good, and whose future lot was in their hands to direct to happiness or misery, according as they fulfilled their duties towards me. With this deep consciousness of what they owed towards the being to which they had given life, added to the active spirit of tenderness that animated both, it may be imagined that while during every hour of my infant life I perceived a lesson of patience, of charity, and of self-control. See, Kitty, this is the kind of cadence I do sometimes. Sometimes I like to have a sentence that is like, and of what, and of X, and of Y, and of Z, and my editor is always like, nope, it should be, I perceived a lesson of patience, charity, and self-control. They're both right. All I'm saying is that Mary Shelley and we're on the same wavelength. I love myself a good 3-item list with offs indicating each item. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm hoping Kitty is actually not watching right now, because she's about to call me out. It's okay. Everyone, at the count of 3, let's just all act normal, okay? 1, 2, 3. Ah, no! Oh, no, she's here! No, it's okay. It's just like, that's one of those things, honestly. If anything, I'm calling myself out, because I'm finally being vindicated, because I'm like, I like this sentence structure. And look, it's here, in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Now let me get away with it. Narrator's note, she's not gonna let me get away with it. By the way, Kitty's my editor, by the way, in case you guys don't know. I was so guided by a silken cord that all seemed but one train of enjoyment to me. Can I also say, I'm actually kind of shook that I was half expecting Victor to be like, oh, my life was grim from the moment I was born. From the day I emerged from my mother's womb, I was in a world of misery and despair. But no, he's like, everything was nice. Honestly. My parents loved me. You know, like, it's funny. I don't know why I'm expecting, like, a villain backstory. Not to say that he's a villain, but, like, I don't know why I'm expecting, like, a Joker backstory where, like, and then the mob pushed me into a vat of acid, and that's how I got these scars. But imagine if, like, hey, Joker, what's your backstory? Oh, my parents loved me. Oh, my God. Oh, they loved me so much. I lived in wealth, and everybody loved me. I have no reason to be this evil. For a long time, I was their only care. Oh, by the way, I'm so ready for it to be, and then my little sister came around and ruined everything. Also known as the plot of the second Lego movie? For a long time, I was their only care. My mother had much desire to have a daughter. Oh my God, it's actually going to be a daughter. But I continued their only offspring. When I was about 5 years old, while making an excursion beyond the frontiers of Italy, they passed a week on the shores of the Lake of Como. Their benevolent disposition often made them enter the cottages of the poor. This, to my mother, was more than a duty. It was a necessity, a passion, remembering what she had suffered and how she had been relieved. For her to act in her turn, the guardian angel to the afflicted. During one of their walks, a poor cot in the foldings of a veil attracted their notice as being singularly disconsolate, while the number of half-clothed children gathered about it spoke of penury in its what is it to live only on pennies? Is that what penury means? Let's see. I would like to know what the word penury means, please. I like that immediately Google's like penury in a sentence. Extreme poverty, destitution. Okay. Which comes from the Latin penuria, which is to need or to have scarcity. Oh, interesting. Yo. See, by the way, in case you're wondering, this is how I read books, by the way. If I find a word I don't know, I just look it up and I check the etymology. That's fun. At least to me, that's fun. I'm like, hey, a new word, let's go. Spoke of penury in its worst shape. One day, when my father had gone by himself to Milan, my mother, accompanied by me, visited this abode. She found a peasant and his wife, hard-working, bent down by care and labor, distributing a scanty meal to 5 hungry babes. Among these, there was one which attracted my mother far above all the rest. She appeared of a different stock. She's about to adopt this child. And then Victor's gonna get very bitter about that, which is actually, honestly, I'm not saying it's justified. That's not the point of the segue. The point of the segue is that it makes sense that, like, the way that we have established Victor's parents It absolutely makes sense that they would adopt a child from poverty. Like this actually makes sense. She appeared of a different stock. The 4 others were dark-eyed, hardly little vagrants. This child was thin and very fair. Her hair was the brightest living gold. Old-timiness coming in. And despite the poverty of her clothing, seemed to set a crown of distinction on her head. Her brow was clear and ample. Her forehead was so big. Her blue eyes cloudless, and her lips and the molding of her face so expressive of sensibility and sweetness that none could behold her without looking on her as if of distinct species, a being heaven set and bearing a celestial stamp in all her features. We all know, biblically accurate angels had big foreheads, we all know that. The peasant woman, perceiving that my mother fixed eyes of wonder and admiration on this lovely girl, eagerly communicated her history. She was not her child, but the daughter of a Milanese nobleman. Her mother was a German and had died on giving her birth. The infant had been placed on these good people to nurse. They were better off then. They had not been long married, and their eldest child was but just born. The father of their charge was one of those Italians nursed in the memory of the antique glory of Italy. One among the... Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Can you read this line for me? Okay, that's not gonna work. Welcome back to Max can barely pronounce English. Can they pronounce Italian? Ciabiac nur fremente. I was not doing pizza pasta hand motions, I assure you. I would never do something so absolutely uncultured. Who exerted himself to obtain the liberty of his country. He became the victim of its weakness. Whether he had died or still lingered in the dungeons of Austria was not known. His property was confiscated, his child became an orphan and a beggar. She continued with her foster parents and bloomed in the rude abode, fairer than a garden rose among dark-leaved brambles. Boo, but okay. When my father returned from Milan, he found playing with me in the hall of our villa a child fairer than pictured cherub. Oh, did you get auto-flagged again? I'm so sorry. Just YouTube is just so picky. But then again, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't had any like homophobic, transphobic comments in the chat either. So maybe it's kind of working. Sam says, they did outright just adopt her because she's blonde and had rich parents. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's messed up. But hey, you know, I'm sure there'll be lots of messed up things in this oldie time book, so let's move on. A creature who seemed to shed radiance from her looks and whose form and motions were lighter than the chamois. This is a French word, isn't it? Chamois? Oh, I didn't know that. Yo, can I just say, first of all, I'm so grateful that we have someone who actually knows about this book in chat. Not to say there's lurkers who also know, but Sam says, and we're in fact reading the 1831 version. In the 1818 version, they are cousins. Keep that in mind. So yeah, I actually really appreciate. I actually appreciate you clarifying these things. Chamois of the hills. The apparition was soon explained. With his permission, my mother prevailed on her rustic guardians to yield their charge to her. They were fond of the sweet orphan. Her presence had seemed a blessing to them, but it would be unfair to her to keep her in poverty and want when Providence afforded her such powerful protection. Is this capitalized for religious reasons? Providence? They consulted their village priest, and the result was Elizabeth Lavenza. They consulted their village priest, and the result was that Elizabeth Lavenza became the inmate of my parents' house. What a strange phrasing. Kind of dope though. The inmate of my parents' house. That's how I like to think that Yanto is the inmate of our house. My more than sister, the beautiful and adored companion, all of my occupations and my pleasures. Everyone loved Elizabeth. The passionate and almost reverential attachment with which all regarded her became, while I shared it, my pride and delight. On the evening previous to her being brought to my home, my mother had said playfully, I have a pretty present for my Victor. Tomorrow he shall have it. Sweat emojis in chat, please. And when, on the morrow, she presented Elizabeth to me as her promised gift, I, with childish seriousness, interpreted her words literally and looked upon Elizabeth as mine to protect, love, and cherish. All praises bestowed on her I received as maid to a possession of my own. We called each other familiarly by the name of cousin. Oh, so this might actually, interesting. No word, no expression could body forth the kind of relation in which she stood to me, my more than sister, since till death she was to be mine only. Well, that's definitely a place to end the reading for today. That's funny though. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, okay. So I'm gonna assume, let's do the read where it's like it's just children, it's just children. I will say that when I was little, my older sibling was like, Max, you're like our little like princess/prince, and I'm like, yeah, that's me, put a crown on me, and I kind of look like this. I'm just like, yeah, that's right, it's me. I am the leash of this castle. Everyone listen to me and to what I say. But no, yeah, it's messed up. Lamau, Victor, you're just supposed to cringe in chat, yeah. But it's what happens. It's 10:10. I think, because I don't think I can read through chapter 2 unless it's short one. Let me just see. Oh, that's longer than chapter 1. Yeah, I definitely can't read through that before we have to go into chat and Q&A time. So I think we can call it here for today. What did you all think? Not of my reading. Don't tell me what you thought of me reading. But do y'all, the gays and the theys, do you all want to continue listening to me read this book? I'm having fun, and I hate to frame it like this, but like that's like the most important part. I'm having fun. Let me go to just chatting for now, because I got a post on social media that we're switching gears real quick. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like I might come back, especially because it's fun. It's also interesting to look at another writer's writing and inspect it. So yeah, for sure. I might definitely. I might definitely. Do you listen to? Are you listening to what I'm saying over here? I'm thinking of bringing it back. If anything, it's because I actually want to know what happens next. And also, the writing's been really fun. Let's see. It says here that this should take like 500 minutes to read, and I cut through probably like a sixth of it. Yo, reading a book in 6 days is not bad. Well, I definitely cut through at least a sixth of it for sure. It's not that bad. Is it that bad? the drunk Max version. But I'm not even drunk though. I'm just reading the book like I would be reading personally. I'm like, what the hell does penury means? So let me put up a quick tweet. Let people know that we're changing gears. Had so much fun reading Frankenstein. Oh man, I was so scared when I made the logo for this series. I was so scared that I had misspelled the title, because Kitty was like, "Hey, are you sure Frankenstein spelled correctly?" And I felt a bead of sweat rolling down the side of my face, and I'm like, "Oh no!" But turns out I spelled it correctly. Frankenstein. We're switching gears. Come help me brainstorm my solo RPG campaign. Oh, no, yeah. Sorry. It's actually pronounced Frankenstein. Yeah. We actually have that, and by have that, our good friend of the channel, Plakesworth, he lent us his entire Junji Ito library. So, like, we have, like, all of the Junji Ito books, save for, like, 2 of them. Yeah, I should definitely read Frankenstein by Junji Ito. It's, like, literally in one corner of the room. I'll do that after we finish the book. Campaign. Let me, spaceship emoji, dice emoji, heart emoji. Honestly, like, at the poet Gene, like, Junji Ito, honestly, not that scary. I think Junji Ito is just, like, there's gore, of course, and there's, you know, scary things that happen, but I don't feel like it's, like, I wouldn't be getting nightmares from it, although there are stories that you keep thinking about later on. I think it's just, I don't know how to describe it other than, like, a sense of weirdness, you know? I kind of like that supernatural edge that's, you know, the kind of stories you say around the campfire, you know? Not necessarily jump-scary, nightmare-inducing thoughts, but, you know, the kind of story ideas that linger in the back of your mind. I've been reading a lot of Junji Ito. Yeah, cosmic creepiness, there you go. I like that. And I send this tweet, and then I'm gonna send this. Okay, I can delete this, and then we send this again. Hello, Mr. Computer. I would like to copy and paste this. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's also, like, that one Junji Ito story about the lady who just wants to let's just say, get very personal with the house. Goopy? I'm actually kind of interested now in reading it. The idea of the creature being goopy is, like, a concept that I didn't realize I needed. It's just a goopy boy, you know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, as we're switching gears, I would like to reveal to you all that I have done the logo for our RPG series. You might have seen it on Twitter. Yeah, hell yeah, the poet Gene. Can I just call you Gene? Would that be okay? Also, yes, we were joking yesterday that this campaign is just like Among Us, so I went out of my way. Oh, hell yeah, Gene. Hell yeah. I went out of my way and just literally just made it an Among Us. Also, I already have the thumbnail too. Yeah! I had a lot of fun drawing this one. Gays in space. And no worries. I just like to check with people, honestly. You know? It takes 0.2 seconds and then everybody is on the same page. Because honestly, okay, let me just say it like this, okay? I am a mutual with a amazing indie game composer, Ben Prunte, and on one stream he kept calling me Mist. And first off, that's kind of dope as hell for sure. But at the same time, I'm like, no, my name is actually Max. But I never really got around to telling him that. So probably he just thinks of me as Mist, which again, it's kind of dope, but not really not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. But yeah, gays in space. Also, by the way, how's everyone doing today? We kind of jumped into reading, so I feel like I didn't really get a chance to ask people how their days have been. We need to make a planet. Anybody else wants to make a planet today, or just me? I'm actually a little bit worried about doing this role. Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah, we're just trying to stay dry over here. I live in California and we have like ridiculous amounts of rain today. It was funny because yesterday, Kitty went to work, and can you believe having a real job, unlike whatever I'm doing here? It was funny because she left early, and I'm like, you're gonna want to take an umbrella, and she was like, nah, I'll be fine. It's not gonna rain until tomorrow. Of course, it started raining that night when she came back home, but I was there waiting for her with an umbrella, so everything was fine. Alexander says that he's managed to write 500 words, below my average, but I figured out how to cut some filler in a way that gives my protagonist more agency. Now I just have to think about the specifics of it. Hell yeah! Yo. Any writing that you do is absolutely, like, you know, it's a bonus for sure. Any kind of progress is good progress. And Rhiannon says that this is my first day off in a few weeks, so I'm making the most of it. I actually fell asleep for a bit and took a power nap during the reading. Yo. Honestly though, by the way, this reminds me. Hey, let me just dramatic close. Yeah, shout outs to everyone who's watching this to go to sleep. Hey there. Hey, hashtag Sleepy Squad. If you're watching my VODs to fall asleep, you're legally required to leave hashtag Sleepy Squad in the comments. And also, some sleepy emojis, you know? The sleepy face, the little sets. These are also all really good emojis. Just, you know, post a couple of those, okay? Jean says, oh wow, it's been literally raining then freezing where I am. Yeah, no, I live in California, so we don't have real weather. Hey, wait a minute! You're not part of the Sleepy Squad? I mean, I guess Kitty's the leader of the Sleepy Squad, actually. Also, Charlie says that they're playing a Pico and they love it. They're going for 100%. What is a Pico? Let's see. Oh, that looks cute! That looks cute! It's a game about breeding, collecting, and conserving bees! Holy crap. Is this on Switch? It is on Switch. Is it on sale on the Switch? I didn't know this game existed. This game came out this year. I didn't know there was a game about bees. Oh, Gene says, I used to live in the Middle East, and I remember the rainy season when everywhere else in the world was cold. Yeah, yep. The world around is different. Yo, living in the Middle East, though? Hell yeah. That's dope. Yo, this game at Pico reminds me of Littlewood. Is this by the same publisher? Let's see. I don't think so. I don't think it is. It looks like it's like a big publisher. Okay. The art style remind me a lot of Littlewood. And it's queer too. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, getting so many game recommendations. Can I put this on my wish list, please? Thank you. Oh my god. Okay. Are you all ready for like the most nothing Angry Max comment coming up? So, Kitty and I, we used to play a lot on the PlayStation. We used to play on our PlayStation 4s a lot. And on the shift from PS4 to PS5, they removed the wishlist feature. Which, can I just say, what a dumb idea that is? Like, literally every time we're like shopping for games on the PlayStation, I'm like, I sure would love it if there was some sort of list where I could wish for games to be on, so that I could check when those games were on sale. If only there was a feature like that somewhere. What's up with this energy of, like, you know, corporations taking away features, you know, or adding pointless features? Anybody else want to talk about the Twitter view system? Also, did anyone see that post going around of someone being like, I think the Twitter views thingy is absolutely BS, because here's a screenshot of an account that is privated and has no followers, and it had like views on its tweets. Oh my god, Kitty. Oh my god, Kitty's so right though. On PlayStation, you can have a cart, but you cannot have a wish list. And on the Switch, you can have a wish list, but you cannot have a cart. We don't know what Xbox is like because we don't have Xbox. I know. Yes, see, Sodernia here coming in with the truth. Not having a wish list feature is really strange. How in the world are you supposed to see all the games you want to buy and give them all your money? I don't get it. I'm almost a little concerned that it might be like a weird because okay, fun fact. Oh, get ready. You're all about to get mentally shocked right now. So whenever on PlayStation, whenever you see a game on the front screen or on the first results of a game sale, those developers paid money. Like the AAA developers pay money to be the first on the list. So I'm wondering if maybe it was a weird thing where, like, you know, if we remove the wish list, then people have to look at the sales every time they want to buy games, and then they'll see the people on the top of the list, which are the game developers and companies that are paying 5 figures to be on the top of the list every single sale. Could that possibly be it? I don't know. Am I too conspiracy pilled? I don't know. It just kind of feels like something that a evil corporation would do. Also, Charles is correct. The views are in fact fake. Although I'm not gonna lie, it's been like, I guess the opposite of this hardening is hardening. It's been hardening that like everyone hates the system and it's messing everyone up equally. Because like there's like big accounts that I follow, and I'm like, oh wow, this tweet has 40,000 views, and how many likes does it have? 100. And I'm like, holy crap, this system sucks for everybody. So you know, maybe it's not too bad. It's probably is as bad as I thought. Oh, I need to get my dice overlay ready. Oh no. Oh crap. Okay. I just realized that I actually don't have. Oh no. I don't have a dice overlay for D100, so we're gonna do this live right now. I want everybody act cool. Things might or might not happen on the screen. Don't worry about it. I believe I do this. I'm gonna call it 1D100. I enter this here, and then I want you to roll a D10 plus a D100. Will this work? Also, I need to fix the... Okay, well. Alright, well, you guys saw that. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about what you're seeing, okay? It's all gonna get fixed in 1 second. It should be 1920 by 994. 1920 by... Also, can you please shut down this source when not visible? Thank you very much. And now I just gotta move it. I just gotta move it down. And then I gotta do... Oh my god, this is all happening like live. I just gotta do the chroma key, and then we're done here. There we go. You got to see a little bit of the magic happening live. I do, because I love the physics on these dice. So you can like really tell, like, oh, that was almost a different roll altogether. Oh my god, I know, it's like magic. I mean, like, not to like spoil you guys, but that's how I exist here, you know? Kind of like, yeah, I can mess up the screen real bad if I mouse over the Vtuber scrolling software. Oh no, now I have to figure out a way to get out of here. Okay, there we go. We have made it. The only problem is that there's now like a bunch of green in front of me, so maybe I'll fix it like this. There we go. Okay. Wait a minute, really? Huh. Oh my god! Oh my god! Sodernia, goated. Sodernia's goated. Sodernia, you're like 2 minutes away from getting like modded, so keep up the good work. Did we just roll 28 twice? Alright, so I'm thinking it's time to do a little bit of talking about the solo RPG. So we're gonna be, yo, hey, you know, we might be able to make it happen. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna be, wait, hold up, do I have my document open? I do, let's go. Alright, so we're going to be doing a little bit of brainstorming for the RPG we're gonna be playing collaboratively relatively soon. I'm not gonna talk about the system, because I realize, honestly, unless you know about RPGs, this stuff if you don't know about RPGs, this shit won't make any sense to you. So instead, we're just gonna talk about the fun stuff, okay? So, the setup for this story, let me just switch screens real quick. I want to make sure I'm not gonna dox myself by revealing a page I'm not supposed to. Alright, so, we're doing a story setting, a story idea that is basically gays in space. We have basically the setup that I imagined is gonna be science fiction, and the way that it's gonna go is that the story begins almost like an Among Us game, right? Where there's like a space station, and there's a bunch of people working on that space station, and something happened in the space station, and our character, whose current name is Lemon, we'll figure out what their real name is, maybe. Lemon and four other survivors basically got on the escape pods and managed to get away from the space station or the spaceship, whatever, and are now stranded on a different planet. The goal of this campaign is going to be for one, or to have our group of survivors actually be able to get out of this planet, and B, to find out what actually happened on the space station. One of these four survivors that we are gonna meet happens to be the actual traitor, the actual imposter, if you may. So part of the story is gonna be in us figuring out who actually done it. So we have survivor number one is was part of the research team, so he wears purple, the research gay as we call him. A big and buff, masculine-looking person. The second member was the medical gay from the medical team, wearing the toothpaste blue color. A goth doctor femme. And survivor number 3, the maintenance gay, who wear orange, by the way. And we were literally thinking like a white/gray-haired soft anime boy, I think. And the fourth, when we rolled this yesterday, by the way, we actually figured this out. One of the escape pods didn't actually land with the rest of them, so this escape pod is, this character will be introduced later, and this was actually a member of the operations team, aka the gays with guns, or the gun gays, and this is gonna be a sleepy baby gay with a gun. So, I definitely, and we were laughing about this yesterday, I love the idea that the one person of the team who didn't land with everyone else happens to be the one with the gun, who's also in a bright red suit. So I'm just saying, this seems like an easy, clearly they are the ones who did it, but that might just be a fake out. We don't know. The fun thing about doing one of these solo role-playing games is that there is no game master. There's nobody organizing the story. It's going to be just us figuring the story out role by role. That being said, I think it's time for us to figure out what planet we're going to be landing on. And yes, oh my god, the art for Ironsworn is beautiful. This role-playing game is just amazing. The art is just mwah, just so good. So, the cool thing, you may be wondering, Max, how can you play a game by yourself? Well, a game like this gives you basically random tables to roll on. So instead of having to figure out, come up with a planet, we can just roll on a planet. And then we can actually roll on the features of said planet. So for instance, this jungle planet, what can you see from space? Excuse me? What can you see from space? Let's just roll right now. If I can find the 100, there you go. So from orbit, we can see that 31, there are inland seas in this planet. You just learn little things like that. What's the atmosphere like? Is there life on this planet? And what are some planet-side features? There's bioluminescent flora. There's deep river gorges and stuff like that. So the one thing I want to do, and I'm a little scared about this. Okay, I want to roll to see what planet we land on. Maybe we'll do like an astroneer kind of thing where we actually jump from planet to planet. But I'm scared of ending in a Jovian world. Oh my god, yeah, Kitty is so true. We love a good RPG table in this house. So a desert planet would be like optimal. Furnace world sounds like too dangerous. Again, Jovian is just like it's just a small core surrounded by gas. Jungle world, we could make that work. A shattered world, I'm a little worried about that, but I feel like we could make it work, you know? Tainted world, like this, we could make this work. Maybe we could make this work. Everyone's gonna have to be wearing their suits at all times, basically. Now, their other options are a grave world, which sounds like something out of Warhammer 40k, an ice world, an ocean world, which would be interesting, because then in this case, we're basically playing Subnautica, a rocky world, or a vital world. The vital world, which, by the way, you only get on a 99 or a 100 on the roll, by the way. These are, like, the best planets. You get, like, biomes. You actually have to roll on biomes and life diversity. What a cool little game. What a cool little game. Is there even, like, do I even have the table for creatures? Because that table is awesome. Because, like, this is a science fiction game, right? And you're like, well, you know, like, you know, what monster do I encounter? Okay, well, roll on the monster table, baby. Roll on the monster table. You know? It's like, you know, let's make a monster right now. Let's roll on the table. I'm gonna say this is gonna be like a land. Okay, actually, you know what? Is it a land? I'm gonna re-roll this. Is this a space monster, an interior monster, land, liquid, or air? Where does it live in? 97? It's an air creature. Okay, it's gonna be an air monster. I'm actually gonna write that down real quick. Air monster. Now we go over to the air category, and now we roll again. What kind of creature is it? 41. 41. It's an air crustacean / shelled creature, and the air crabs. Oh no, the air crabs. Everything was fine until the air crab nation attacked. Air crabs. Oh my god. You know, actually, you know how like in Pokemon, like Shelter and like Cloyster like float? Then maybe it's kind of like that. It's just like, it's literally just like Cloyster from Pokemon with like eye beams. Okay, now on first look, what is the first thing you notice about this creature when you first see it? 20. It is comprised of many creatures. Yo, so it's a bunch of little crabs. It's a bunch of little baby crabs. Yo, a bunch of little baby crabs that float. Maybe they're holding on to like a larger like crab, or maybe, you know what? It's a symbiotic entity. Like it's like a jellyfish, and then like there's a bunch of little crabs holding on to the jellyfish. Maybe, I don't know. You're supposed to roll twice, but not that one is enough. Now, when you encounter this creature, what does it do? You know, what does it do when you encounter it? 45. It is a hunter. Oh my god! It wants to kill. Hunter mode. Oh my god. Kill on sight. Yo, hey Dash, nice to see you. Holy crap, haven't seen you in forever. Yeah, Joe's Crab Shack. Cause it's the Crab Shack. It's a little old place where you can get crabs. So, after you know this creature for a little while, you'll learn more about it. So what is its revealed aspect? 73. Pheromones. Oh no. Oh no, I don't know if I like that. Secret power. Pheromones. I don't know if I trust crabs with pheromones. Yo, there you go. We have created a horrible monster. Okay, so it hangs out in the air. It's like a, you know, okay, let's see. You know what I want to do? You know what I want to do? Okay, so it said that it was like crab-like or a shelled. So you know what animal I think is dope as hell? Is the pistol shrimp. Pistol shrimps literally shoot like really like they shoot air at other underwater creatures to kill them, and that's dope as hell. So let's just make like a fleet. Oh, okay. What do you call it? What do you call it in spaceships where you have like a bunch of like tiny little like ships surrounding a larger ship? What do you call that? Anybody here know about spaceships? What do you call it when a larger spaceship? I guess like a what do you call it when there's like tiny little ships surrounding a larger ship? A fleet? A fleet? You know what? Pistol shrimp fleet. Oh my god. Okay, it's kind of like a pilot fish, yeah. You know what? I kind of like this is kind of dope. Okay, I'm picturing them blue. I'm thinking of the Pokemon Wishy-Washy actually. Ooh. Armada is like a way cooler name. Again, if the name is cooler, we go with that. Pistol Shrimp Armada. A school of floating pistol shrimps. Covered in let's go with a nice little opalescent blue shells, which covered in shells, which use their pistol-like mouths to shoot compressed air at their prey. They attack on sight. And now I don't like the idea of pheromones so much as like, you know, the traditional sense. So I'm gonna say that continued exposure to the shrimp, pistol shrimp armada. Yeah, honestly, that's not too bad. I mean, like if the characters are able to defeat them, then maybe they can eat them for food. So, but I'm gonna say that extended exposure to pistol shrimps cause, let's just go with my gut feeling, hallucinations. Alternatively, you know, altered mind states. Yo, crab legs for dinner sounds great, honestly. I'm actually kind of jelly, yo. Also, again, I just love how, like, you know, this is kind of like how the game works, by the way. You know, you roll dice, we think collaboratively, and we end up creating a cooler thing. So, you know, in a matter of just like a few minutes, is there a shrimp emoji, by the way? There is a shrimp. Let's go. And then a gun. This shrimp has a gun. There you go. The pistol shrimp armada. You know, with a couple dice rolls, we have already created a interesting like creature for this world. Like the lotus eaters, but with crabs. What's a lotus eater? Let's see. Ah, interesting. Interesting. I see that. Yo. Dash. Holy crap, you're so right. No, yeah, it's not hallucinations. It's actually, it just causes an imbalance and nausea. You get motion sickness. Oh my god, that makes so much more sense. Yeah, no, I prefer that. I actually, it's a little bit more grounded, which I really like. The change in air pressure messes up the inner eardrum. Oh my god. As someone who gets like motion sickness very, very easily, I relate to this. Yo, this is actually such a cool little monster we just created. So yeah, that's kind of how the system works for creating anything. You can create factions, you can create characters. Literally, the next page I think is creating factions. You know, you can like there's tables for everything in this game. It's a game full of tools to help you be creative, and I really, really appreciate that. Now, let's go over to planets, because we're gonna have to roll. I'm not excited for this roll. I'm actually a little bit worried. I guess as long as it's not like a furnace world and a Jovian world, I think I'm gonna be fine. The Grave world is inherently less exciting, unless I guess we're fighting like, you know, Skeleman. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but like Aerial, oh my god. Aerial Shrimp Armada. Honestly though, you know what? Also, I know that you probably meant aerial as in like something that is like air related, but I also like the kind of allusion to the font, so I'm gonna steal it. Aerial Shrimp Armada. And 66 to 70. 66 to 70 would be like, yeah, okay. Would be a rocky world. Are those your lucky numbers? Are those your lucky numbers, Alex? My lucky number is 27, which would put us like... Where would 27 put us? It would put us in a furnace world, so not so lucky today. So I'm gonna stop just like... trying to roll, and I'm just gonna roll, okay? So, everybody... Yo, yeah, Jungle World would be actually really fun. I'm just gonna take a deep breath. Okay. F me up, F me up, F me up. 48. Oh my god, please, where's 48? Where's 48? Ice World! Oh, hey, Moontomes! Thank you for coming in. Yeah, we're just doing some RPG brainstorming. We're going to an ice world. We're going to an ice world. Yeah, we're going to Canada. We're going to Canada. Okay, ice world. Okay, now, y'all, we get to actually... Okay, let's go to the ice world. Now, I'm gonna assume... this stuff here doesn't matter so much. I'm still gonna roll anyway. Because, basically, this means whether you're, like, near civilization, on the outskirts of civilization, or you're out in the darkness of space. Colt? How dare you? How dare you? Colt. Well, we have some sample names, but we'll see. We'll see. Yo, if anybody has any names for this planet, just start throwing them in the chat right now. Oh, this is actually, in fact, a PDF. This is the reference. This is the reference kit. This is the reference guide for Ironsworn. I actually have this physically, but you know we backed their Kickstarter, so we also have the digital files. Yeah, and it's all hyperlinked, which is like incredible. So we're gonna go to planets again, and then we're gonna go to Ice World. And I'm gonna assume that we're not in the darkness of space, so we're like in the Outlands. And this will infer whether there's actually a settlement of people here. So, you know, this will mean whether we have, you know, are we gonna have the mission of literally, So Darian says, this is a very fancy PDF. I now wish to learn how to make fancy PDFs. I guess I know what I'm spending the next 3 days on. Honestly, the people who made this game, like, put a lot of love into it, so... The Ivory Forest. Ooh, I like that. Gene, I like that. Haley, that's also kind of nice. Now, let me just roll real quick, okay? Let's see. Are there people living on this planet? 38 means that there's no people living on this planet. This is it makes sense. It makes sense that the spaceship would like dump us here. But yeah, this is also calling it taiga feels a little bit on the nose, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, definitely there's no settlement. I'm gonna write that down. There are no settlements here. Nobody home. There's no help is coming. We're gonna have to actually build our way out of here. Now, top 10 rolls that I'm scared about. I'm scared of this roll. The atmosphere. I want to believe that we'll be able to take off our helmets, but let's just roll right now. How bad is the atmosphere in this world? 97. It's ideal. It's ideal. You can breathe in this planet. It's ideal, you guys. We can actually take off our helmets. Holy crap. I'm actually shook. I'm actually shaking a little bit. The atmosphere is ideal. Holy crap. Holy crap. We can actually breathe. That means that our characters might be able to, like, find some nice shelter here. Holy crap. Now, our options for life in this planet are none, extinct, scarce, diverse, bountiful, or overrun. So let's roll the dice and see what kind of life do we have on this planet? What? What? Oh my god. Guys, 99? That means it's overrun. This planet is overrun. Holy crap. Holy crap. This planet is overrun. Oh my god. This is why I love these kind of games. You just roll the dice. This planet, we're building it little by little. There's no human. Well, now I know. Now I know where there aren't people on this planet. It's overrun. It's overrun with something. Maybe it's those pistol shrimps we were making earlier. Now, let's see. We're going to roll twice on observed from space. So here are the things we can see. Pheromone crabs. Let's see. So from space, what can you see about this world from space? Let's roll twice. The first roll is 56. Supersized ice volcano. What is even an ice volcano? Is that a volcano but it's overflowing with ice? I kind of dig that. Is it literally oversized? Is it supersized? Supersized. There's a supersized ice volcano. How is that even possible? There's a supersized ice volcano. And what's the other thing you can see from space? 3. Feeble sunlight. Okay, yeah, I could have told you that. Okay, yeah. So there's very little sunlight. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I love the idea that, like, the volcano just, like, goes and it's just, like, ice cubes shooting everywhere. I love that. Yeah, honestly, Gene in the comments, maybe it's like the Galapagos Island where it's been deserted by people but teeming with life. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. That's what I'm picturing in my head. Yeah, also, Dash makes a good point. The only thing I can think of, it's a regular volcano, but that's active but frozen over. Yeah, for sure. Yo, so you know what this tells me? So, under the surface, the volcano is active and it's, like, super hot, which means that we have, like, super hot super hot aliens. There's some sort of alien species underground that's just enjoying, the summer weather that's underground. All right, so this is the stuff we can see from space. We can see that there's a giant volcano, which might be like a nice landmark. And we also know that there's, like, feeble sunlight. So, there isn't a lot of sunlight, maybe a lot of mist, a lot of Silent Hill fog. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Dash is, like, thinks the Gorons. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's just Gorons living underground. And now, when you're actually in the planet, what can you actually see just walking around? 28. Colossal ice caves? Oh, yeah. Anybody want to go into the colossal ice caves? Our characters are going to have to go into the colossal ice caves, by the way. It's planet side and it's observed from space. Yeah, it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold in here. Giant ice caves. Oh my god. Oh, and I bet there's no trouble inside of them at all. It's a good thing that the only gay with a gun isn't even anywhere near us at the beginning of the story. I'm excited for that. Step 1, build a spear. And what's the other feature that you can see while you're walking around the planet? 77. Subsurface. Ooh! Subsurface liquid oceans. Ooh. 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 Underneath. Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. The volcano is still active, which means that under, like, you know, a thick sheet of ice, there's just a regular, like, world happening down there. So there's actually a liquid ocean underneath the ice. Yo, I love that. Yo, so I like this because, see, immediately, this gives us places to go, right? We have the big landmark. Yeah. Muntom says, so deep sea creatures too, huh? Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna write that down. Deep sea creatures, let's go. So yeah, we have, like, the supersized volcano, hot springs at the bottom of the ice caves. Yeah, pretty much. Yo, actually though, I'm just even gonna write that, actually. Hot springs at the bottom of the ice caves. That's a good idea. I like that. So, see, this already gives us, first off, it gives us, like, you know, a nice landmark, right? You know, we have the volcano probably in the center of the world. Yeah, hot springs episode, let's go. Honestly, yo, I'm actually gonna... y'all are joking. Gene is joking, but I'm gonna make a note of, like, ice fishing to get some food. Because our characters, you know, they're gonna land in escape pods, right? And they're gonna have to build a shelter. They're gonna have to find food. And honestly, ice fishing seems like a really good course of action. But yeah, we immediately have places to go, right? We have there's a liquid ocean underneath us, so we might be able to access that somehow. I don't know. There's the ice caves for shelter, and there might be hot springs here and there. Is there anything else we need to roll for this planet? I don't think so. Holy crap! I still need a name though. I think we had the Ivory Forest. I kind of like that. Maybe just drop the Ivory Forest. Could someone give me, like, a couple letters and some numbers to just give, like, this planet, like, it's a, you know, code designation, please? You know how it is, like, this is planet, like, CXW29. Oh yeah, somebody's definitely gonna fall through the ice sheet for sure. It's probably gonna be us. I see. How dare you, Moontomes? How dare you? Ivory Forest, also known as IC. Oh my god. 9865. That actually works so well. Ivory Forest, IC 9865. I'm gonna try to, like, write this in a better way. Also, we need a planet, please. Give me a planet emoji, and give me a cold emoji. Yeah, you're laughing. You're clever. You know what you did. I know what you did. It's an ice world. There are no settlements here. The atmosphere is ideal, but it's ideal. Holy crap! We can actually breathe here. The planet is overrun. It is observed from space. You can see a giant volcano, and there's also Silent Hill fog everywhere. And planet side, there are giant ice caves. There's liquid ocean underneath the ice. Deep sea creatures. We're gonna have to see some of those. And there might be hot springs at the bottom of the ice caves. Hell yeah! And also earlier we actually also made a creature / monster that might exist here. The aerial shrimp armada, a school of floating pistol shrimps covered in opalescent blue shells, which use their pistol-like mouths to shoot compressed air at their prey. They attack on sight, and extended exposure to the pistol shrimps cause imbalance and nausea, aka motion sickness, because the change in air pressure messes up with the inner eardrum. Oh my god. I'm excited. I'm worried. I'm terrified. Yo, I can't wait for Thursday. Yeah, I can't wait. Gaze in space. Yeah, so that's gonna happen on Thursday, by the way. Yo, hold up. Are you telling me it's already like 1:57? Are you kidding me? I've been having so much fun brainstorming. It's almost time for me to go. Holy crap! Hey, everybody. Ooh. Okay. Gene says, according to Wikipedia, I assume the frozen volcano is a canonical mound of ice formed over a terrestrial lake via the eruption of water and slush through an ice shelf. The process is wave-driven, with wind providing the energy for the waves to cut through the ice and create formations that loosely mimic the shape. Oh, that's cool. Yo, I learned something today. Holy crap. That's really cool. Thank you for doing the research, Gene. See, this is why I like streaming. But it's the slush viscous. How dare you, Alex? How dare you? I know what you're referencing. I see what you're doing. It's almost time for me to go. I literally have like a minute. But I want to let everybody know that the music you heard today is from Lo-Fi Leah. The app that I use to be a VTuber is Videotube. You can go to my website, MKirinauthor.com, to buy my books. Also, MKirin, coffee.com/MKirin is the #1 place to support me and make me help me pay the bills and stuff. I want to thank you for coming, everyone who's watching this and everyone who's watching the VOD in the future. Please don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future streams. Tomorrow we're going to be getting back to regular writing, I think. I believe I already even have the thumbnail for that. I do have the thumbnail for that. Let's go. Let me just really quickly. I don't want to dox myself for any reason. There we go. Oh my god, this one came out really good, actually. This thumbnail came out really good. Yeah, we're going to be back to writing a novel. And then, after that, we're going to go to Gaze in Space. Let's go. I have a little bit of work left to do on the characters, but, you know, we should be able to have a fun session next Thursday. No, and thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Shout outs to all the wrenches in chat, by the way. Thank you so much to everyone who showed up to the stream. Y'all are super fun. I can't wait to do some writing tomorrow, and then after that doing some role playing with you guys. It's gonna be really fun. I want you to put it on your calendars because it's gonna be a fun adventure, and not just because it's Gaze in Space. No worries, Adernia. Yeah, thank you to the mods. Thank you to everyone. And can you believe it? Yanto is at my door. Yanto wants to leave. So I'm going to call it now. Thank you so much to everyone. You're all the best. And I will be seeing you all very soon. Bye-bye.